Hi y'all, what's up gang? How y'all doing? Shout out to everybody in the chat with they thumbs jack. Man, y'all know this live here gonna be very, very interesting because you know I'm trying to explain to the world that the stuff that I be digging to, alright, for a prime example, everybody know that I be digging into the Kanika Jenkins case. And her case is so corrupt that the things that I found out, the things that I be digging, even though this a murder case, it goes back to the same organization, to the same group of people, and the same group of people that we elect to be our presidents, our mayors, the sheriff, you know what I'm saying, and all these old stuff. It's the same people. The things that I learned when it come to the world, I'm like, man, like Mel Gibson said on the Joe Rogan channel. He said, man, good and evil is battling it out. It's a spiritual war that's going on, and the public don't know what's really the truth. All right, before I get started, let me put a disclaimer: fair use, education purpose use only. All rights and image and music clip belong to their respective owner, and we do not claim ownerships. So let's go to the boom, to the big screen, right? Before I get started, I just wanna throw this out there what y'all see on the screen. Now, this is a live video that's in Spain. In Spain. Now look at your time frame. What time it is wherever you at in the world, what time it is. In Spain, it's 12:59 a.m. in the morning. So when we use UCT time, right? When we use UCT time, when it comes to Kanika Jenkins case, and this is what Kanika Jenkins taught me, cause everybody was puzzled when they were like, why they got this stuff in UCT time? Check this out. For all my day ones, when it come to the footage, how many hours you gotta knock off when it come to the UCT time? Matter of fact, how many hours? If you in Spain right now and this is 1 something in the morning, what time it is in wherever you at? How many hours? How many hours that you see on the UCT time? Payal for the first one that got it in the chat. 5 hours. 5 hours. So look, won't you look at the Kanika Jenkins case a little bit different when it come to Miss Teresa ruined the body? Knock 5 hours off that. Knock 5 hours off that. So when Miss Teresa was in the kitchen at 5 something in the morning, she would actually be in the kitchen at 12. Cause now you know what I'm saying, where I'm at now is 6. It's still 5 hours off. So check this out. Miss Teresa would be in the kitchen Ooh-wee. Knock 5 hours off that footage. So that means if she was in the kitchen viewing the body at 5:04 in the morning, knock 5 hours off of it, it'll be like at 12. It'll be like at 12, right? When the beverage manager supposed to, go look in the freezer, be like, oh, there she go right there, right? Keep that in mind. Boy, that case finna hit different once you look at it, because you're going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, we on to something. So then, boom, check this out. Let's manipulate the time one more time. One more time, right? Watch how this finna hit different. And thumb me up if this hit different. Let's manipulate it one more time, since we like, okay, September the 10th now. That's on a Sunday. So that means she would see the body at 12 some. All right. Let's manipulate the time one more time. Let's go back to Miss Teresa's own words. They was cleaning out the pool between 3 and 4 in the morning. And look when she would see the body. That means Miss Teresa would actually see the body at what time? Between the hours of 4 something in the morning, right? On September the 9th. And once you get to the 12th, that's where you get the little Meek story. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me hold on. I got to re-say that again. Hold on, cause I ain't say it right. If you knock 5 hours off that footage, think about the Miss Teresa said they were cleaning out the pool between 3 and 4. So let's just say 5 in the morning, they staged the freezer scene at 5 in the morning. That's when you see Miss Teresa with the police, you know what I'm saying, in the kitchen at 5 something in the morning, right when the shift finna change. And after when she saw the body, she immediately went to the front desk. Ooh, and say, yeah, I'm looking for my daughter. That's like sticking to the script, right? That's like sticking to the script. So that's when the 12 o'clock theory hit, because they were like, well, we got to know what I'm talking about. So I see that now. I see it. Because the only confusion part about this case is the timestamp. Because the most important part, you got to, if you know they staged the crime scene in the freezer, right? In the freezer. That means she will place in there at a certain time. So when you see Miss Teresa and the police officer in that freezer, I'm looking at that as like, that's when they still staging the crime. And so when they were still staging the crime, just say, all right, we got Miss Teresa in the kitchen at 5 something in the morning, September 9th, staging the crime scene. So we're going to save this video and to later on that day, and we're going to show it at 12. Because when, you know what I'm saying, at midnight, right? And so when they showed it at 12 at midnight, you know, so that's when Miss Teresa had to stay, be like, oh, I just found out they, you know what I'm talking about. Do this make sense? Do this make sense? So, so when you dig into Kanika Jenkins, think about this timestamp right here. Oh, it's at 1 something a.m. over here. And if you look at, just say, look at it like this here when it comes to timestamp. just say everything that happened, put a Kanika in the freezer. Start that out with 5 something in the morning when Miss Teresa in the kitchen with the police on September the 9th at 5 something in the morning. Then she finna show up in the lobby talking about, yeah, I'm looking for my daughter. Talking about no cameras. Then she go back outside, get on the phone, call the police. Talking about, yeah, I'm ready to file a missing person report. And everybody like, damn, why this shit sound so coach? You see what I'm saying? And then this shit finna be going on for to 12 o'clock in the afternoon. You see what I'm saying? You feel me, Josh? You feel me, right? Cause the way that I was finna put the video together, I'm like, man, this shit makes so much sense. When you just put all the clips together, you can actually make a fucking documentary. How these bastards think, well, they got away with it. You know what I'm saying? They got away with the murder to set up the whole thing. But at least the public gonna find out the real truth. All right, for a prime example, right? Now, this at 1 a.m. According to daytime, the sun's still rising. Well, you know what I'm saying? The sun's still up. You go outside, you know what I'm saying? It's a sunset where we at, sun going down, right? So when you look at the footage, knock 5 hours off the footage when they were viewing the crime scene. So that means what they will be at round 5 and 6 in the afternoon on September 9th, or between 5 and 6 on September the 9th. That hit different. That hit different because you got 5 hours to play with. That means you could show the morning footage of Miss Teresa on September 9th, 5 something in the morning, kitchen secured, police officers in there showing Miss Teresa the body and all of this. And you could just simply just move that later on tonight, starting at 12 and knock 5 hours on the footage. I'm seeing how the police work. So to make a long story short, right? This is what I did. When I did some research, I looked in Illuminati, the Freemasonry, and you finna totally understand where I'm finna go with this. Listen to me closely. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, what these two got in common? We already know. Kids programs. Right? Hillary Clinton, you know what I'm saying, in child trafficking. He's in children pedophile ring. Child trafficking, pedophile ring. Child trafficking, husband pedophile ring. Don't that make sense now? Both of them try to run for president. One won. One going against Donald Trump. This is what I learned about Freemasonry. Because Donald Trump is a part of a secret society too. They both part of the same secret society. He's from the Freemasonry, the Skulls and Bone secret society, and another secret society. Donald Trump is a Mason, and he belonged to another secret society that's affiliated with his secret society. So let me break it down, right? All right, check this out. Everything Bill Clinton, Hillary touch ends up to the police report. Now keep this in mind, right? Legendary crime family, the Bonos, right? The Colombo, the Gambinos, right? Everybody know the Luciano, all that. And the Clinton is involved with the mafia. Did you know he the Irish? Think about Irish. He the Irish mafia. That's his family, the Irish mafia, and they socialize with the Gambinos, all these crime families that had something to do with his assassination. Keep that in mind. He's a look. Clinton is an Italian. I mean, not Italian, but Irish. Clinton is an Irish. JFK is an Irish. They Irish. The Gambino family, you know what I'm saying? They Irish. But you got the Italians, the mob, right? There's two different sets. Look at it like it's a gang. But it's a secret society. So this is what I learned. All right. Hillary Clinton bill, you know what I'm saying? Well, once their gang landed in the hot water, the Clinton inner circle team with people embroiled in scandals upon investigation and heading in and out of jail, right? The State Department Spectator General, right? Hillary claimed that her outlaw email service was perfectly illegal. The report said Hillary did not comply with the department policy, you know what I'm saying, that it was impediment to, according to release these emails. It's a federal act, right? Release the email. Check this out, right? That's why Donald Trump was trying to expose Hillary Clinton. Because look who Hillary Clinton was tied to. Another secret society. Dealing with kids. A pedophile ring. These is people that's in politician power. Right? You see what I'm saying? All right. So check this out. Hillary used the government email. She chose personal. She chose a personal server, right? Because she was using a different server sending these emails to a foreign country about children and all of this old stuff and got caught doing it. And Donald Trump was trying to expose her onto this. But look, but Donald Trump is cool with the husband. That means, like, I would never, if this my wife right here and Donald Trump like, yeah, I'm finna expose you, you know what I'm saying? You supposed to step the game up and like, hey man, you know, that my wife right there, man. I ain't finna let you just, you know what I'm saying? None of that. None of that, right? All right. Let me get out of that and let's go to this. JFK. He's an Italian mafia. Right? Look, he was a mafia. He was a Catholic. Keep this in mind. The Italians and the Catholic, they really just don't associate with each other, but they'll do business. All right. So if you look at the mob that assassinate JFK, just look at another mafia hit another mafia in the office. In the office. Because when it come to mob people, they only kill other mob people. Other mob families. They just don't kill people outside of the mafia. So look, once I start reading into this, like, damn, it makes sense why, if you look at the Kennedys, look at Marilyn Monroe. Guess who Marilyn Monroe related to? George Bush. George Bush. and they put Marilyn Monroe on Kennedy. And that's how the mob works. Yeah, we're gonna send them one of our girls on them, and then we're gonna show compromising pictures of JF Kennedy having profile relation with Marilyn Monroe when he a married man. So look, so when I read this, right, and I was like, oh, it all makes sense now. Cause I said, wait a minute. This makes so much sense that I went back. Okay, I just showed y'all. Here go the Clinton. The Clintons and the mob, right? Remember JFK got assassinated and his death is a conspiracy theory, right? Now you got the Clinton. He Irish. And he in the mob, right? So once you like, damn, that's why Clinton was able to be president. You know what I'm saying? And did the right thing about the mob. Put it like this here. JFK was in the office. He was a mafia, and they making laws. They got access to the moon. They got access to the moon, stars, weather. Remember JFK was like the man on the moon? That's the first time everybody heard about a man on the moon. So now look, this is all mob. Don't you know how like we got mob movies? You know, everybody know your favorite mob movie like the Godfather, the Goodfellas, and all this. But don't this show you prove that damn? Well, they our president too. The mob was our presidents. You had to tie your mob in the presidents. Italy, the presidents. So look, let me do this and read this out loud.
The Laborers International Union of North America represents 750,000 construction and waste removal workers. Their leader is named Arthur A. Koya. Koya is a major contributor to democratic causes and also has had extensive social dealings with the Clintons. Early last year, the Justice Department allowed Koya to oversee a massive cleanup of his union, rather than filing a racketeering lawsuit, removing Koya and putting the union under government control. The labor's ties to the mob have been studied often, most recently in a Justice Department investigation begun during the Bush administration. The October 1994 report.
Now watch this. Now you finna see why Clinton and George Bush is so cool. And these people is on the Epstein list. Keep that in mind. That's crazy. Keep that. These people, they had people voting for the president. Like George Bush had to steal the election. Everybody know he stole that election. But Clinton, he won all the black people because he went on our City Hall with the saxophone, talking about, yeah, I smoke weed, but I ain't inhale it, you know what I'm saying? And to black people, they were like, man, that's the most coolest shit, man. That's the most blackest president we'll ever have. But he was an op the whole fucking time. He was a mob, an Irish mob that was president. All the people that were president was socialized with the mob. Keep that in mind.
Report of that probe charged, among many other specifics, that the union's presidents, including Koya, have been controlled and influenced by organized crime figures for decades. Koya, whose entire career has been in the labor's union, is a wealthy man thanks in part to real estate dealings with his own. His father was also a top union official who, according to federal investigators, had long-standing mob contacts. Koya's ties to the Clintons began in early 1993 when the laborers loaned $100,000 to Clinton's inaugural committee. After Koya rose to the union presidency in March 1993, he and his wife had numerous contacts with the Clintons. A House Judiciary Subcommittee, which held hearings on this matter in July, has issued a list of more than 100 transactions between the two families extending through May of this year. These include watching an NBA game together at the White House, receptions, bill signings, breakfasts, dinners, gift exchanges, and autographed basketball for the president, the Book of Psalms for Hillary, and an invitation, declined, from Clinton to Koya to join him on a trip to Haiti. The Haiti...
Now look, this the most disturbing thing that's really bothering me now. Cause what I know now, I didn't know this back then when he was the president. Everybody blind to this type of shit. You know, Bill Clinton came out as a clean-cut white boy out of Arkansas. But keep this in mind. Not only that he was the mob, he was also working with the cartel. With the drugs that was supplying the United States, and the other mob had a problem with that, so they went to war with their mob, and that's why Bill Clinton... Oh man, this shit is getting crazy. Y'all remember that dude, that drug dealer that fly the plane named Barry? What's that drug dude that got caught on the airplane? He was linked it back to Bill Clinton. The famous pilot that was delivering drugs, his plane crashed in Arkansas. So look, hold up. Keep this in mind. This in 93. Haiti. So if you go back to mob fucking with Haiti, right? And keep this in mind, the mob already controlled the weather. They already controlled the weather, the climate control. I'm talking about Mother Nature alone. They can make hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, tsunamis. They got the technology to do that. Check this out.
Haiti invitation was relayed by White House Deputy Chief of Staff Harold Ikes, a lawyer who used to represent the union. Advertisement. Koya also aided Clinton politically. The Labor's PAC contributed more than $2 million to the Democratic Party and its candidates in 1993 and 1994. Koya broke with most of the labor movement to support NAFTA. Koya personally contributed $1,000 to the Clintons' Legal Defense Fund and helped organize Democratic Party fundraisers. He joined the board of Back to Business, a group of prominent Democrats dedicated to responding to attacks on the Clintons' integrity. In January 1994, Hillary Clinton was scheduled to give a satellite address to top laborers' union officials. The chief of the Justice Department's Organized Crimes section recommended in a memo that she avoid direct contact with Koya if possible. In September 1994, the White House considered appointing Koya to the Presidential Council on Competitiveness. It submitted his name to the FBI for a background check. The FBI warned that Koya is a criminal associate of the New England Patriarcha organized crime family and was under confidential investigation. The appointment was dropped. 2 weeks later, however, Koya met with Clinton in the Oval Office to share some thoughts and ideas, according to his thank you note.
What? This the mob in the White House. In the White House, If you go back to Clinton, let's go back to all those bills he was signing and look who Bill Clinton went to war with. Boy, this shit finna get serious. Cause they going to war with other secret societies. And it's good and evil battling it out, and they trying to control the world, and the good people is still holding them off. Hold up. That just might as well, you might as well look at this as John Gotti as a president. You might look at this, the Billboard family, you know what I'm saying? Organized crime in office. They the presidents. Throwing meetings and shit at the White House, having dinner, brunch. Hey, I got some thoughts and ideas to pass these laws for the United States. The new world order is in progress.
Note: the next month, Koya and his wife attended a White House dinner at which the president played the saxophone. Advertisement. On November 4th, 1994, Koya received a handwritten note from Clinton thanking him for a gorgeous, custom-made golf club and congratulating him on becoming a grandfather. The same day, Koya received a copy of the Justice Department's report concluding that he was controlled and influenced by the mob. In February 1995, a week after Hillary Clinton addressed a labor's conference in Florida, see photo, Koya and the Justice Department signed an agreement that gave Koya until 1998 to clean up the union under government supervision rather than placing the union under direct federal control. This agreement is central to the controversy. Did Koya get special treatment because of his Clinton connection? In more than 15 other racketeering cases, the government filed the case in court and ultimately took over control of the union. Defenders of the labor's arrangement argue that it will clean up the union just as effectively and at less expense. Back in 1987, Newt Gingrich and other Republicans were among 245 House members who wrote a letter to Attorney General Ed Meese specifically opposing a federal takeover of 4 unions, including the laborers, and protesting the use of federal racketeering laws against the unions. Since the agreement, Koya has hired 50 former FBI agents and several former federal prosecutors to pursue the internal reform.
It's over with. The mob got control over the FBI. So you might well look at the FBI right now. That explains why so many cover-ups. Guess who is in control of all the assassinations? It's one group that got the A-OK to make assassination. Ain't nobody gonna tell on them. Guess who assassinated JFK? Look at a gang dispute. Like, you know what I'm saying? The South going against the West Side, right? It's a secret society, right? Hold up. Check this out. This what I did. Bill Clinton mob connection, right? Look, the Godfather, check this out. He's Irish, just like JFK. JFK fucked up and was beefing with the other mob. I didn't even know at that time, when you think about the mob, you ain't think about Freemasonry and other secret society. You ain't think about, damn, these mob people went to school too and got their degrees, became lawyer, judges, and police officers and all that. They just started off as criminal, right? So check this out. Once you read this, Ike was a mob-connected lawyer. Mob money brought him the position of the White House Deputy Chief Staff. Through this position, he recruited many of his comrades. Now you see why the Department of Justice is so corrupt. Now you see why Donald Trump like, man, I ain't releasing no Jeffrey Epstein file. No. So look, a former Arkansas police captain suspected associated with Arkansas mob became Clinton chief of security. These are presidents. You will be surprised who is the general that have control to send the troops to war. Man, this some crazy shit. Matter of fact, let me just read this out loud. I'm gonna let this read it.
Harold Ickes was a mob-connected lawyer. Mob money bought him the position of White House Deputy Chief of Staff. Through this position, he recruited many of his cronies. Patsy Thomason, director of White House Office of Administration. Patsy was a top lieutenant to convicted drug dealer Don Lasseter, who was pardoned by Clinton. Ms. Thomason was recommended by Bill Clinton to mobster Lasseter when she was still Clinton's highway commissioner in Arkansas. It has been speculated that she got her start performing the duties that Monica Lewinsky eventually fell into. Buddy Young, a former Arkansas police captain, suspected associate of the Arkansas mob, became Clinton's chief of security. Nathan Landoff, involved in a casino project with a representative of the Gambino organized crime family and Washington gambling boss Joe Nessline. The Carter administration denied Landoff an ambassadorship because of this. Landoff offered to lobby the Clinton administration for the return of the Cheyenne-Arapaho Indian tribe's land in exchange for huge campaign contributions. Landoff also tried to shake down the tribe for 10% of any development revenues and gas or oil royalties derived from the land won. There are dozens of more suspected mob ties within the Clinton staff and associates, but all connections are purely circumstantial. The associations alone are not a smoking gun. The trail of bodies surrounding the Clintons are not a smoking gun neither. The confession of an alleged Clinton hitman is not a smoking gun. Filegate, Chinagate, Whitewater are not smoking guns either. But all combined, the preponderance of circumstantial evidence seems to indicate that the Clintons, like most of the DNC upper echelon, are extremely dangerous, devious, greedy, evil people. Discover more. Books. Book. Bookshelves. Scientific. ADFA was promoted by Governor Bill Clinton as providing low-interest loans for schools, churches, and other noble purposes, and passed by the Arkansas legislature in 1985. Clinton had control of who received loans from ADFA. The first 5 loans went to Clinton friends and associates. 2, including POM, controlled by none other than Webster Hubbell. It was a $2.85 million loan that was never repaid. The records of loan and repayment schedules were kept secret. Seth Ward was the owner of POM. Webb Hubbell was Seth Ward's son-in-law. Guess who drafted the legislation creating Arkansas Development Finance Authority? Guess who introduced and got it passed? Guess who got the first loan? Webb Hubbell. Guess who did the audit and evaluation of the applications? Rose Law Firm owned by Webb Hubbell. Who signed it? Webb Hubbell and Hillary Clinton. 3. Millions of dollars of drug money was being laundered through the Arkansas Development Finance Authority and through Dan Lasseter, brokerage company, and involved people close to Governor Bill Clinton. Federal Reserve reported that cash deposits in Arkansas banks tripled while Clinton was governor, suggesting huge amounts of funny money being moved. 4. Larry Nichols, Clinton hitman. September 2013. A former Clinton accomplice, Larry Nichols, casually blew up the airwaves and internet when he made some very disturbing allegations on the Pete Santilli radio show regarding the Clintons. Nichols has been at war with the Clintons ever since he was fired from his high-ranking position as head of the Arkansas Development Finance Authority, a money laundering organization within the Arkansas government under Bill Clinton. He helped to expose the sexual brutality of Bill Clinton as governor in Arkansas, and his information eventually played a key role in Clinton's impeachment. They sent me overseas to kill people for them, and told me it was for the good of the country. So when they asked me to do it for them in the States, it felt no different. The real truth is, I did it for the money, and I didn't give a shit about the women I beat and the men I murdered. The Clintons are bad people, and I did bad things for them. I had to live with that all of these years, and now I just don't care anymore. Who knows it? Nichols also states that the Clintons were into a myriad of illegal activities. They had mercenaries, friends, Arkansas State Police to help conceal it all. The Clintons were basically berserk in their insatiable lust for money and power. Drug running, rape, brutalizing of women and young girls by both Bill and Hillary. He also claimed that Chelsea Clinton is not Bill Clinton's daughter. One thing I know for sure, she did have enough sex with men to have a kid, but it wasn't Bill Clinton's kid she had. Chelsea is actually the daughter of Webb Hubbell. Nichols, as well as many other insiders, claim that Hillary Clinton was having sex with Hubbell to obtain a desirable position at the Rose Law Firm, which would help to advance Bill Clinton's chances of becoming governor of Arkansas. Nichols also asserted that Hillary goes both ways and once witnessed her sexually ravage a young 18-year-old girl. Nichols was Clinton's.
I believe Hillary Clinton is bisexual. Cause I always was like, man, I believe that lady like, you know what I'm saying, women though, you know what I'm saying, because you don't see her dressed like a feminine female, like a real feminine female, you know, like with the makeup and the real girly type thing. You don't see the girly side of Hillary. It's more a stud side. She always had pants on. She barely wear dresses. She always had pants on. You know what I'm talking about? She always look like a stud in the business suit. Cause I'm like, man, look at little Hillary. You know what I'm saying? She give me that little vibe like she'll eat that little coochie. And Bill Clinton like, yeah, I love peanuts too. I like walnuts, peanuts, almond nuts, you know what I'm talking about? So you know they got a real, you know, the husband gay. That's probably why Jeffrey Epstein gay. Cause if you look at Bruce Jenner, once he was married to the Kardashians, and you mean to tell me he living his wife as a lady, you know what I'm talking about? As a lady, you know what I'm talking about? And he ain't even Bruce. He Kylie Jenner now, you know. I like, whoa. And then look how much praise. He got no backlash or nothing. He got full support. Oh my God. I'm like, man, wait a minute, man. You know what I'm saying? Cause the mother fine now. She ain't just ugly now. You still gay? Like, what the fuck going on with your head? That Hollywood drug must hit different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me take a little toot of this right quick. Oh shit, man. I like boys and girls. Like, what the, nah, we don't want none of that. You know what I'm talking about? Oh my God. I wonder why P. Diddy got everybody, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, But look, but check this out. This the Clinton family. This was all going on. So it would make sense that they got something on Hillary Clinton dealing with little girls. She gay, and she prefer little girls like her husband prefer little girls or little boys. Maybe both. Maybe both of them. That's what I think. Look.
Clinton's marketing director for the Arkansas Development Finance Authority. He was later fired by Clinton over charges that he had made unauthorized international phone calls. Nichols believes Clinton, as governor, was involved in cocaine shipments, money laundering, and other illegal activities, and that his operation was based in and around the Mena Airport in Arkansas. Nichols had at one time sued Clinton over his firing. He charged not only that Clinton had misused state funds on a number of mistresses and was negligent in not investigating Mena. Former Hillary associate claims to have been her personal hitman admits to killing for money. The Clinton Chronicles, an investigation into the alleged criminal activities of Bill Clinton. Chelsea Clinton is the biological daughter of Webb Hubbell.
Clinton body count.
The phenomena of the Clinton body count is well documented. Personally, I don't believe that Bill or Hillary Clinton actually ordered all of these hits. But the abundance of people that became corpses, in some way relative to their dealings with the Clintons, seems to indicate that if the Clintons were the decent, intelligent, and hard-working people they want to be viewed as, well, then perhaps they should choose their friends more carefully. The phenomena of the Clinton body count is well documented. Personally, I don't believe that Bill or Hillary Clinton actually ordered all of these hits. But the abundance of people that became corpses, in some way relative to their dealings with the Clintons, seems to indicate that if the Clintons were the decent, intelligent, and hard-working people they want to be viewed as, well, then perhaps they should choose their friends more carefully. Is the Clinton body count real? This question has plagued the former first couple for nearly 20 years and has become such an integral part of popular culture that Hillary has been forced to sarcastically refer to it in press conferences. Some people even say we're involved in drug dealing and murder. And Part 3 of the Clinton trilogy, The Murder Volume, an overwhelming amount of evidence is provided proving that the 110+ people who've died under mysterious circumstances, all tied in some way, shape, or form to the Clintons, far surpasses any chance of it merely being coincidence. The odds of such a phenomenon occurring naturally are, in fact, so minuscule that alternative explanations become necessary. Book review. C. ClintonBodyCountForbiddenKnowledge.com. Harold M. Ickes represented mob-connected labor unions with ties to 4 of the 5 New York crime families, as well as other criminal organizations. He is recognized as one of the primary organizers of the Democratic Party's Shadow Party, a national network of mob-connected and...
I just want this to, for everybody that's sinking in that listen to this. This is all mob that's in the Democrats and the Republic Party. All mob related, but they in secret society, they businessmen. They rival, but they do business. It's a difference. Watch this.
And left-wing labor unions and leftist activist groups which are engaged in campaigning for the Democrats. In 1970, Ickes and Bill Clinton worked together on Operation Purse Strings, a lobbying effort aimed at cutting off all military aid to South Vietnam. Eventually, with the help of Senator Ted Kennedy, aid to South Vietnam was cut by 80%. By 1975, South Vietnam and Cambodia couldn't finance their defenses and fell to communism. 2 to 3 million people were slaughtered in the aftermath of Indochina's collapse. What the hell? I mean, that's not so bad. Only half a Holocaust. Harold Ickes. Ickes represented mob-connected labor unions with ties to 4 of the 5 New York crime families, as well as other criminal organizations. He is recognized as one of the primary organizers of the Democratic
Now watch this. Once you look him up, do the background check. Cause once I did the background check, look, William Jeffrey Clinton was born William, not Bill. Now, look who he ran against. The Bush family. But they cool with each other. They secret society get along with they secret society. It's just the Italians, right? They want to press more wars on their own people. Cause guess what? Once you think about that makes sense. Like, damn, they're white Italian, going to war. Oh, it makes sense. Like, that's why they assassinated JFK, and you were Irish too. So this when you was in office, you were doing right until you fucked up somewhere. They try to expose you, your own hitman. Look. So look, to make a long story short, right? I read this, and this would be something to look into. Cause these people passing bills about children, health program, health insurance. They got health insurance for your kids. The mob and your kids is covered by these same people. Your child finna go. You finna take your child, go get a checkup. Boom. Yeah, we finna hit them up with this pill, the insulin. All that old stuff. Hold on. And they go back to the health program when Bill was in office for the old and the young, and then they finna come to education. But when I read all the lists, I'm like, man, this shit blowing my mind. Cause now all the wars finna make sense. Guess who he was going to war with? Other secret society. Put it like this here. If you from a secret society, y'all from the same secret society, but you from the same secret society, but in the same secret society, your society branched off and became another secret society, and now y'all beefing. So the first thing you finna do, well, I'm finna bomb your goddamn city. I'm finna bomb your state. And you know what I'm saying? We finna take it out on your people. That's why he got assassinated, because he even the threat to tell about the secret society. So look, once you look at all the wars, so now I said, man, I got to go back to all the wars then. Look, the violent crime control and law agreement. Go look at all these laws that he signed dealing with crime. So you mean to him, you got a dope boy that's running drugs, that's a president. It means and everything. That's how cold the mob and the secret society is. So look, so boom, once you look at all these people, look who he connected to judges. These be the main pedophiles. These be the main people that's high ranking Freemasonry. And other secret society that's in the law was like, yeah, we got control over the world. We need to pass these laws because we need to control the public. So boom. Now you look at the peace. Go look back and look at all these wars and go look to the peace treaty. It's finna make sense because all these people just look at secret society like, damn, okay, you bomb a city. You know what I'm saying? You're knocking off. Look, let's call a peace agreement. You won. Hold on, look. Check this out. Don't this go back to Saddam Hussein? Don't you know what's the crazy part about this? When it finna come back to Hussein, Tregang ain't finna show you why. Cause do y'all remember The Simpsons? Do you remember Krusty the Clown? Boy, this shit finna get so serious. Remember Krusty the Clown, right? You know Krusty the Clown a real person, right? Watch this. I'm finna stop it right here. Well, let me show you Saddam Hussein and be like, why his name coming up? And then let me scroll all the way down, right? That's why they got control of earthquakes. That's why they went and tried to did that earthquake in Haiti so they can have all those Haitian babies. Maybe they caused that earthquake. Hold on. All of this up under the Clinton administration, the Clinton Foundation. I remember all that. They had so many goddamn ads about the Clinton Foundation for the kids in needs. I'm going to keep scrolling all the way down, and I want to go to Hurl. This where he started off at. At this organization when he was 12 to 21 year old. A young group that's affiliated with Freemasonry. So I went to it. Nah, it's not this one. Not that one. No. Let me go to the Simpsons. So when I went to the Simpsons, right, let me go all the way down to Krusty the Clown. Don't you know everybody got character? Look, this how you know everybody can agree, damn, the Simpsons do be predicting a lot of things when it come to the world, but people look at it in cartoon form. If you look at that my form of these people, of the voices, these the voices, these the real people. Ah, caramba, you know what I'm saying? Calabunga, dude. You know, these is all these people. That's Bart. She the voice of Bart. These people. Fuck the character, these the people. So you mean to tell me when they allegedly predicting how assassination's gonna hit, how they gonna predict Donald Trump's assassination, how they tell you how things gonna hit? These the people. So if they talking their real voice, in their real voice, what that TV show sound like right now? Sound like motherfuckers sitting at the table talking about how they gonna assassinate a motherfucker. They telling everybody how they finna set a motherfucker up. But let me scroll down. I passed Krusty the Clown. Where Krusty the Clown at? Where he at? Watch this. Remember when I told you about Krusty the Clown? Right here. This Krusty the Clown. This who we know Krusty the Clown is. I like Krusty the Clown. He funny. He a good character. I like him. All right. Remind y'all, when it come to the Royal Order Jesters, you know they like to play like clowns, don't it? You know, when it come to Royal Order Jesters, you know that you got the Joker. You know the Joker dressed like a clown, right? This is what a Mason look like. So look. If you read about Krusty the Clown, you will find out, look, all right, it's a Hebrew name, okay? Better known, his stage name is Krusty the Clown. Spell that Krusty Clown. You know what I'm saying? He's an animated TV show of the city. His voice is from this who Krusty the Clown is. I'm glad that you mentioned Shriner because all of that's finna come up. Appreciate it that you mentioned the Shriners. Keep that in mind, because all this finna come up in this live. This the real Krusty the Clown right here. Boy, you see how Freemason could do fuck with kids' head? Telling the kids what they finna do. So look, you got Krusty Clown. Let me read this out loud. Watch this.
By Dan Castellaneta. He is the longtime clown host of Bart and Lisa Simpson's favorite TV show, a variety show consisting of various kid-friendly sketches and often highly violent cartoons, most notably The Itchy and Scratchy Show. Despite his cheery on-screen persona, Krusty is actually a cynical, burnt-out, addiction-riddled smoker who is made miserable by show business, but continues on anyway. He has become one of the most frequently occurring characters outside the main Simpson family and has been the focus of many episodes, namely some centering around his relationship with his former co-star Sideshow Bob, who later became a major antagonist of the series. Krusty was created by cartoonist Matt Groening and partially inspired by Rusty Nails, a television clown from Groening's hometown of Portland, Oregon. He was designed to look like Homer Simpson, also voiced by Castellaneta, with clown makeup, based on the scrapped original concept of Krusty, where Bart worships a television.
Sur information.
Full name: Herschel Schmoikelpinch as Eurocum Krusty. Rusty was created by cartoonist Matt Groening and partially inspired by Rusty Nails, a television clown from Groening's.
Now look, if you take the hair off, he look like Homer, don't it? Don't that look like Homer Simpson? This the crazy part about the game. I did so much research on this stuff, and I'm like, man, I can't believe that my mind was that sleep. I was like, man, my mind was that sleep on life, period. These people fuck with your religion, your history, and your plot glands. Look, if you look at Homer Simpson, now, matter of fact, let's get to know Krusty the Clown. Krusty the Clown, right? Here go Homer. Now, look. Now you see Homer dressed up like you got two of them. Boy. Oh, look, that's what I was finna get to. Homer the Clown. Bro, look. That's why you finna get Homer the Clown. And guess what Homer the Clown came from? Guess what inspired Krusty the Clown? You remember Bozo? The clown Bozo in Chicago, Illinois? Hold on, watch this. When I tell you this shit finna get crazy, guy, look. Bozo. The clown. You see Bozo? There go Bozo. If you see that outfit, right, this Bozo, the clown. You see that? That's where I was finna get at, gang. Y'all beat me to the punch. I'm like, dawg, I thought I was finna, boy, y'all already on this shit. So look, I remember watching this show. And this show was in Chicago, bro. And I'm like, damn, that Bozo the Clown. I'll never forget about Bozo the Clown. I remember he used to come on no TV channel. So look, once you get Bozo the Clown, right? With kids, that's what a Freemasonry do. That's why you got a clown. That's how clever these people live. Yeah, we want the children. We don't want no adults. We want the children. Because once you get if you get the child mind for life, you got that child when that child come as an adult. You see what I'm saying? That's the whole purpose. So that means he ain't the real clown. We the real clowns. He just showing you an image of how people is finna get clown, Jack. Look, watch this. You see this? That's Bozo dealing with kids. But watch this. homie, the clown. Big difference. Big difference. Now y'all see that's big difference. Same look, same image, same clothes, but a different. So I was looking at it like, damn, was he with marking Bozo the Clown and Krusty the Clown? Cause the shit that cause when I was doing my research and the shit would lead me back to this, I'm like, okay, damn. So he dressed like a clown. So what does he market them? Cause when you look at the message when it come to the kids, let's listen to the message when it come to the kids.
Fun? Yeah! All right, what y'all want me to do first?
Oh, Hurry.
What?
Now do a silly clown dance for us.
Oh. Yeah, degrade myself, huh? I don't think so. Homie, don't play that.
So once you look at back to this shit,
Shibe, who was 1.5 years old.
so now look, it's another totally different message when it comes to these kids.
He lives in Chicago, Illinois. All right. What do you say? All right. How'd you like to go first, Brian? You like to go first today? Why don't you go first? You stand right behind him. Now, Brian, put your toes on the line there. That's good. Then get yourself a ping pong ball and drop it.
So when I started getting hip to it, so I'm like, okay, boom. I went to this. When I went to this what happened. So if he went to this and he became a part of the Knights Templar, I said, oh, it really makes sense now. Okay, here go the Knight Templar. If you look at, look where they got all control at. Australia, Brazil, United States. Now you see where they all got control at? Back to Spain, Italy, where the Irish at, right? Boom. All of this is so positive off of this, right? This is where they all located at. Notice where they ain't located at. So I said, hold up, wait a minute, bruh. I'm looking at all the land right here. Okay, boom. When I did my research, so I went back to the Rainbow Girls. So it's a Masonic youth, and it teach and it train young women to learn you about the value of charity and serve through their work's involvement in their local grand service project. So this is what I learned. Don't y'all know about those community centers that be in the neighborhood? Them people that's in the Freemasonry and other secret society. And the reason why they got those communities is show their loyalty to their religious belief. Yeah, this for the kids, and this where the kids can come and play basketball and do all of this, because they're just to show you they doing good deeds for the kids. In reality, that come with a price ticket. So it made sense when I was like, okay, Miss Teresa, you know what I'm saying? When I was doing research on Miss Teresa, I'm like, why Miss Teresa all on the block and shit, throwing block parties? She associated with the Merle. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody mama just don't, be associated with the Merle and all this about the gun violence and doing marches and shit. So cause hell, our family, we don't do this shit. but she do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, it makes sense she an Eastern Star, and then in the programs, it would make sense she would be in the YMCA. Cause don't you know that I found out, man? I'm moving too fast on this shit. Put it like this here. Y'all remember this? Job Daughters, a Masonic youth organization for girls and young women between the age of 10 and 20. So when you go to the book of Job's, that's why you got Job Daughter. Cause I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? That's why, I guess how the Eastern Stars, how the way they finna be affiliated with this shit. So look, when I read this what I found out. This what they believe in: religion's freedom, civil freedom. So when you look at it like, yeah, they serve God, you know what I'm saying? They honor all womanhood and honesty and practice all of this, right? Organized structure. When I read all this, I scrolled all the way down. Remember, these same people is a part of the same secret society. We go another Irish mafia, another goddamn German. You look at their nationality and that like, damn, look, they Irish. Irish mafia presidents. So here go the members. Right here. Here go other members. Once you look at the rainbow, it teaches about the young women and to, you know what I'm saying? Here you go right here, y'all. Here go the list of the Irish Mafia secret society. Guess who they is? They politicians. Hold on. Walt Disney, the founder of Disney Studio. Look, politician, entertainer, politician. He was the speaker at the United States House of Representatives in 1971. Damn, he was the governor for Idaho and Secretary of the United States. Hold on. There goes Cecil, another politician. Reuben. Look at them, y'all. They politicians. Governors of Florida. Walter, a sports broadcasters. National Baseball Hall of Famer. No, not him. Another cartoon actor. That's Bugs Bunny. If you love Bugs Bunny, you definitely love that man. What's up, Doc? You got Frank, and he an astronaut. It makes sense why JFK was talking about motherfuckers going to the moon. Look, another astronaut on the Apollo. You got Richard, a politician, governor of Nevada. And everybody know Las Vegas is a mob state. Look at all these people that's politicians. Bill Clinton, there you go. We got Mayor, he's a lawyer and a politician, businessman. Look how many secret societies you will have in the White House. They're just like having Crips and Blood, Vice Lords, everybody in the same fucking house. Gary Collins, he's an actor, best known for the TV show Airport. We got Lee, governor of Wisconsin. There go Buddy, actor, singer, and a dancer. You know what I'm talking about? And he played on the Hillbillies. That's the man on the Hillbillies. A Irish mafia. There's David, a broadcasting journal. Paul Harvey. Do y'all know who Paul Harvey is? He was an ABC radio news. Hold on. I don't think y'all know who Paul Harvey is. Shit, let me show y'all. Paul Harvey, If I Was the Devil. Listen to this shit, y'all. Listen to this shit. This the scary part about it. He made this in 1965. When JFK was assassinated in 1963, they all in the office. They got rid of JF Kennedy. Look at all this shit now.
If I were the devil, if I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have 1/3 of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree, thee. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing.
Everything what that man said, it wasn't no metal detectors in the school when he made that speech. He said in a decade, man, you gonna need metal detectors. We finna pornography throughout the TV channels. We finna change judges to pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? He said, man, he gonna infect everybody with diseases. Man, don't think about all those pandemics and old outbreaks that the United States try to have America scared on. You better get your vaccine. Hold on. Now that's Paul Harvey. That's him in the same group Bill Clinton in. This the list in the same group. You got Martin Hatfield, governor of Oregon, Henry. Look at all these people. Baseball businessman Tom, Dallas, Texas. He the mayor. That's a journalist. Bob Mathis. Edgar, another astronaut. Former president, ABC News. Same group of people that everybody depend on the news. That's who we watching, these people. University of Nebraska and Lincoln College, football Hall of Famer. What's up with Walter? Damn, he gotta be from Missouri, man. He a U.S. ambassador? Richard Riley, the 6th United States Secretary of Education? No fucking wonder. No wonder. And they will put up on the Bill Clinton, no wonder why you had the big ass education program. Hold on. Pete Rose, that's the baseball player. He down to James Nicholas. Army veterans. You got Edward down here, another politician. You got businessman. He the founder of Gold Seal Company. That's Lance. He Air Force captain. You got Alex Speedo, owner of San Diego Chargers. The list just goes on. Newscasters. Notice the group. You either a newscaster or a politician, or you play some type of sports and you is a businessman. And you an actor, right? John fucking Wayne. Larry Wilcox. Actor, businessman. Right? Speaker for the United States House of Representatives. Now these people are Freemasonry that's branched out to another secret society in the Freemasonry. So once you look at Krusty the Clown, let's get back to Krusty the Clown.
Hometown of Portland, Oregon. He was designed to look like Homer Simpson, also voiced by Castellaneta, with clown makeup, based on the scrapped original concept of Krusty, where Bart worships a television clown who is ironically his own father that he looks down upon. The idea of Homer playing the role of Krusty would eventually be explored in the season 6 episode, Homie the Clown. Krusty's voice is based on Bob Bell, who portrayed WGN-TV's Bozo the Clown. Krusty made his television debut on January 15, 1989, in the Tracy Ullman Show short, The Krusty the Clown Show. Role in The Simpsons. Edit. Herschel Schmoikel Pinchaz Yerokum Krustovsky was born in the Lower East Side of Springfield and is the son of Rabbi Hyman Krustovsky. Very little is known about Herschel's mother, aside from her name being Rachel, and that she died when Krusty was around 13 years old. Hyman strongly...
Look, I just want to let everybody know that y'all know Krusty Clown is actually a real person. So when you look at somebody in a secret society, and once you know they be having clown image, they say like they'll be like, this the Royal Order of the Jesters right here, and they have a clown image. And you be like, why they have a mascot for a clown? Look at the influence that this clown got. Make this motherfucker mascot, cause when they get to predicting shit, be like, damn, how Krusty the Clown know about they finna assassinate Donald Trump? You ain't looking at him. You ain't looking at him. How you know about the assassination? How? How can you predict these things? But people like us, man, these people be predicting stuff. So he actually a real person. So that's how you get this character. That's how, when you look at Homer Simpson look just like Krusty the Clown, because Krusty the Clown supposed to have been Homer Simpson. So this just really another part of Homer Simpson. So they got Homer the Clown, but they spell it Homie the Clown. Now y'all see this? Then you got Living Color with Homer the Clown. Then you got the Bozo Clown, just like Homer the Clown. So it's like Homer the Clown was making a mockery of this clown. Because they were like, we know what you doing with those kids, and over here, we don't play that. That's the way I'm looking at it. So, look, this what y'all remember when I showed you Saddam Hussein? Guess what Krusty the Clown did? Look, after spending the night together, he prevent Aaron from assassinating Saddam Hussein to protect his thing coming at. After that, Ira started hating clowns. Y'all remember who was the first one that told us about Hussein, you know what I'm saying? Let's go catch a Saddam Hussein. George fucking Bush. So George Bush was beefing with Saddam Hussein, but he really wasn't beefing with a Saddam Hussein. Cause don't y'all know, man, Saddam Hussein was standing in New York down the street from the World Trade Center when the motherfucker was bombed. Staying down the street. So they try to make it look like we can't find him and we can't find mass destruction. But I don't think he was beefing with the George Bush. I believe they was cooperating with each other. And this man could be very, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. They did kill him. You know what I'm saying? They did kill him. But you mean to tell me Krusty the Clown stopped assassination on Saddam Hussein? I know you didn't know that part. From there. Him? Nah, not him. Just press play on this.
Strongly opposed Krusty's wish to become a clown and make people laugh, believing that it would distract Herschel from his religion, wanting the boy to go to yeshiva instead. However, Krusty performed slapstick comedy, obscuring this from his father. However, Herschel was performing at a rabbi's convention when one joking rabbi squirted seltzer on him, washing off his clown makeup. When Rabbi Krustovsky discovered Herschel was the clown on stage, he disowned his son and did not speak to him for 25 years. Krusty later reconciled with his father with the assistance of Bart and Lisa Simpson. 4. It was later revealed that Krusty did not have a bar mitzvah service because Hyman feared he would violate the sanctity of the rites by acting up. Krusty had 2 adult bar mitzvah ceremonies, a Hollywood gala which Krusty uses to stage a comeback after his show is canceled, then a simple ceremony intended to reconnect with his father. 3. After leaving the Lower East Side of Springfield, Krusty started his showbiz career as a street mime in Tupelo, Mississippi, Elvis Presley's birthplace. 5. Krusty later discovers that he has a daughter named Sophie. He had met Sophie's mother Erin when Erin was a soldier in the Gulf War, and he was entertaining the troops. After spending the night together, he prevented Erin from assassinating Saddam Hussein to protect his Saddam-themed comedy act. After that, Erin started hating clowns, and she kept their daughter a secret from Krusty. 6. Krusty and Sophie bonded over time, and while not a full-time father, he is known to acknowledge her birthdays and occasionally references his daughter publicly. Krusty has his own show on Channel 6 in Springfield, The Krusty the Clown Show, which is aimed towards a children's audience and has
Man, that man cold, bro.
many followers, including Bart Simpson. 7. Krusty has licensed the show to dozens of countries that produce localized versions, including Ireland, China, Jamaica, and Romania, with the original version being the least popular. 8. Krusty's show has gone through various phases. A clip from 1961 presents the show as a serious talk show featuring Krusty interviewing AFL-CIO President George Meany on the topic of collective bargaining agreements, while a clip from 1963 shows Krusty interviewing Robert Frost, then dumping a load of snow on the poet. The show later takes a different turn, featuring Ravi Shankar as a guest. 9. And having Krusty haul a drugged-out version of The Doors' Break On Through to the Other Side in 1973. 10. By the 1980s, the show had devolved into a children's entertainment show, although in one episode Krusty provided updates on the 1982 Argentine invasion of the Falkland Islands. During the series, The Krusty the Clown Show is shown to be aimed almost entirely at children. It features many characters, including Sideshow Mel, Mr. Teeny, Tina Ballerina, and Corporal Punishment. 11. Sideshow Bob begins the series as Krusty's main sidekick. However, years of constant abuse lead to Bob framing Krusty for armed robbery, although Bob is eventually foiled by Bart. 5. Bob is replaced by Sideshow Mel, who has remained loyal to Krusty despite being constantly abused by Krusty as well. 7. Krusty seems to retire from, and then get back into, show business repeatedly throughout his career. 12. One of his retirements is almost made permanent due to just paroled Sideshow Bob's latest scheme, wiring plastic explosives to a hypnotized Bart and sending Bart on stage. When Krusty makes a tribute to Bob, however, Bob has a change of heart and stops Bart from fulfilling his mission. Bob and Krusty later reconcile, with Krusty exclaiming that Bob's attempts at Krusty's life make his ratings shoot through the roof. 13. This reconciliation remains for the rest of the series, as Bob abandons his attempts for revenge on Krusty in favor of targeting Bart exclusively. Krusty finishes his show with a song. Bart Simpson is one of Krusty's biggest fans. In the episode Krusty Gets Busted, he declares, "I've based my entire life on Krusty's teachings," and sleeps in a room filled with Krusty merchandise. He exposes Sideshow Bob's attempted framing, helps Krusty return to the air with a comeback special, reigniting his career. 7. And reunites Krusty with his estranged father. 4. For his part, Krusty is usually grateful for Bart's assistance, but almost immediately forgets about it, presumably due to his excessive drinking and drug habits as well as his general conceitedness, and usually does not even remember his name the next time they encounter each other. 4. One summer, Bart enthusiastically attends Camp Krusty, largely because of the promise that he would get to spend his summer with Krusty. The camp turns out to be a disaster, with Krusty nowhere to be seen, as the camp is simply a franchise location to which Krusty has licensed his image. Bart keeps his hopes up by believing that Krusty will show up, but one day the camp director, Mr. Black, brings in Barney Gumble with clown makeup masquerading as Krusty. This pushes Bart over the edge. He decides that he is sick of Krusty's shoddy merchandise and takes over the camp. Krusty immediately visits the camp in hopes of ending the conflict and manages to appease Bart. 14. 15. Krusty is a multimillionaire who has amassed his fortune mostly by licensing his name and image to a variety of substandard products and services, from Krusty alarm clocks to Krusty crowd control barriers. 16. Many of these products are potentially dangerous. 14. Such as Krusty's brand of cereal, Krusty OS, which in one episode boasts a jagged metal Krustio in each box. One of many lawsuits regarding these products is launched by Bart, who eats a jagged metal Krustio by mistake and has to have his appendix removed. 17. The Krusty Corporation, the company responsible for Krusty's licensing, has also launched a series of disastrous promotions and business ventures, such as sponsoring the 1984 Summer Olympics with a rigged promotion that backfires when the Soviet Union boycotts the Games, causing Krusty to lose $44 million. 8.
But look, I don't think a lot of people don't even know the real character of Krusty the Clown. Krusty the Clown, right? This what make him so... The man had shit in a pornographic magazine, a cowgirl magazine. He was losing he had a gambling addiction. He was gambling things on horse racing to opera, betting, you know what I'm saying, and the Harlem Globetrotters. Look, he was addicted to Xanax, pills, cocaine, all of this shit. He played himself in some of these TV shows. Then you got Planet Simpsons, How the Cartoon Masterpiece documentary area. Well, look. So once I looked into all of this, I'm like, well, all of this saying is this just another secret society that could tell you, yeah, Donald Trump, you keep on talking shit, we assassinate your ass and do a little assassinated hit. Guess who control of the assassination? All right. If you look at Jerry Lewis, all these people is connected. It's a jazz singer. He from the Filipinos. I'm gonna show y'all. It's a jazz singer. I'm gonna go to that jazz singer because he gonna make a lot of sense too. Remember the Butterfinger? When I look at that name like butt fingering, you know, like damn, what that mean, Butterfinger? So that sounds like a code name, something that got to do with, you know what I'm saying? Let's go to her.
18 in the TV series and comic books, Krusty is also the mascot and owner of the fast foods restaurant chain Krusty Burger. It has been shut down by the health board many times for everything from overworking employees to stapling together half-eaten burgers to make new ones. 19, as well as using beef infected with mad cow disease to save money. Krusty wastes money almost as fast as he earns it, lighting his cigarettes with $100 bills, eating condor egg omelets, spending huge sums on pornographic magazines and call girls, and losing a fortune gambling on everything from horse races to operas and betting against the Harlem Globetrotters. 16. Krusty is a hard-living entertainment veteran, sometimes depicted as a jaded, burned-out husband who has been down and out several times and remains addicted to gambling, cigarettes, alcohol, Percodan, Pepto-Bismol, and Xanax. 20. He instantly becomes depressed as soon as the cameras stop rolling. Wink with a frown. 16. Marge states in the sweetest apu that, off camera, he's a desperately unhappy man. Krusty appears to have used cocaine, one time emerging from a restaurant bathroom with white powder under his nose. However, he explains that he was simply researching a part for a film in which he played himself. In his book Planet Simpson, author Chris Turner describes Krusty as the wizened veteran, the total pro, who lives the celebrity life. He is miserable, but he needs his celebrity status. 21 in Bart the Fink, Bart inadvertently reports Krusty for tax fraud to the Internal Revenue Service. And as a result, Krusty loses most of his money. Bart soon discovers that Krusty has faked his death and is living as Rory B. Bellows on a boat. Krusty declares that he is finished with the life of a celebrity and is unconvinced when Bart reminds him of his fans and his entourage. 22. Finally, Bart tells Krusty that leaving show business would mean losing his celebrity status, which convinces Krusty to return. 21. Krusty has been described as the consummate showman who can't bear the possibility of not being on the air and not entertaining people. 23. In Mr. Spritz Goes to Washington, Bart convinces Krusty to run for Congress so that Krusty can introduce an airline rerouting bill and stop planes from flying over the Simpsons' house.
Man, that's how they do shit, bruh. Look how powerful Krusty the Clown is. Now, don't fuck with Hussein or Hussein. Don't kill him, man, because I make skits about this man. If he died, I ain't gonna have nothing to make no skits about. Then Bart telling him, hey, Krusty, run for Congress so you can stop the plane from flying over the Simpson homes. And Krusty agreed to run for the Republic. And the campaign started off bad. To Lisa suggests he tried to connect to regular families. Meaning like us. That's like, yeah, we need the black vote. You know what I'm saying? The black vote, y'all come on out and vote, do all this. This how they'll win something. And then everybody want to know, like, damn, they showing this shit on Fox Network. So Fox got to be cool with these people and to air this shit without getting sued.
House.
Krusty agrees and runs on the Republican ticket. Although his campaign starts off badly, Lisa suggests that he try connecting with regular families. He does so, resulting in a landslide victory. Krusty's term starts off badly, as he is completely ignored by his new, more politically savvy colleagues. With the help of The Simpsons and an influential doorman, however, Krusty succeeds in passing his bill. 20. His body features include a third nipple, a veal-shaped birthmark, and a scar on his chest as a result of having a pacemaker inserted into his heart after suffering from a heart attack on air in 1986. 5. In the Once Upon a Time in Springfield, Krusty's age is revealed to be 52. 24. Characterization. Edit.
Creation.
Edit. Krusty in his first appearance in The Simpsons short, The Krusty the Clown Show. Krusty first appeared in The Krusty the Clown Show, one of the Simpsons shorts from the Tracy Ullman Show that first aired on January 15th, 1989. 25, the character was partially inspired by TV clown Rusty Nails, whom The Simpsons creator Matt Groening and director Brad Bird watched as children while growing up in Portland, Oregon. 26, 27. Groening describes Rusty Nails as being a sweet clown whose show sometimes had a Christian message, but whose name scared Groening. 28, Dan Castellaneta.
See how they using religions in this shit? They using religions in this shit. So when you look at all of these people like the David Letterman, them they people, Jeff Martin, them all they people, bruh. They gonna look out for one another. They gonna do whatever for one another. You see what I'm saying? So I said, man, let me go to this. Remind y'all when I told you about the shrines, the person that mentioned the shrines in the chat. Now you see the logo right here, right? That's where I wanted to get at. Now, here go 25 lists. Matter of fact, not this one. It'll pop up. It'll pop up. Now, look at all these secret society in the White House. These ones that be, we need to pass a bill and a law on this. Right? Starting out with the 25th of the secret society that nobody don't know nothing about. Everybody know when it comes to secret society, everybody know about Freemasonry and Illuminati, right? Freemason and Illuminati. These people here more powerful than goddamn Freemasonry. You got the United States shaking hands with who? Everybody know, wait a minute, this American shaking hands with who? Over the mountaintop with the sun to rise. What country do y'all know they got to do with anything with 3-leaf clovers? Only thing I can tell you about St. Patrick's Day. And guess what St. Patrick's, you know when it's St. Patrick's, ain't you dealing with Irish? So, this is they seal. Yeah, we appreciate you passing the bill. Shake hands on this. United States spade is, look at it, it's a spade of spade. Y'all remember that most famous spade? Man, ain't nothing but a spade of spade. Hold on. Look at the symbol. United States with who? Go look at the color, go look at the symbols, and you know what land is going to be at, right? Matter of fact, let this shit read to y'all.
The secret society Ancient Order of Hibernians was organized in 1890 and is a fraternal circle of Irish Roman Catholics who uphold the values of friendship, charity, and oneness among its members. This secret society has historically been primarily devoted to protecting Catholic churches from anti-Catholic forces and assisting Irish Catholic immigrants to get into America, especially those who face discrimination or harsh coal mining working conditions.
24.
National Grange. Oliver Hudson Kelley organized the National Grange in 1867 following the order given to him by President Andrew Johnson to visit the southern United States and identify the war-ravaged areas that needed rehabilitation. In response to the order, he proposed the formation of a secret society that would promote the advancement of rural life. Today, National Grange uses the Masonic fraternity as its model but accommodates both men and women. 23. The United Ancient Order of Druids. The Ancient Order.
Everybody go look up that name, the Druids. When I was looking up at the Royal Order Jesters, then I started getting suggesting videos about the Druids. Once you look up at the Druids, look how far back the Druids go. We talking Bible. Look, y'all want to know, we talking Bible so bad right now. Because if you go to the book of Kings about King Hiram Abiel, he the one that was building King Solomon, right? See, y'all know about the King Solomon temple? Watch this. I didn't even know in the book of Kings, in the Bible, the book of Kings in the Bible was talking about a murder that happened to a Freemasonic master, a 33-degree master mason, and was murdered building a temple inside of a building. When you think about the Kanika Jigga cave, then they said she died on a construction work site, something like that. Right? When you look up at his murder, he was killed in the building that was still up under construction and staff were everywhere. And guess who? And guess who you could document a family back to his murder? The Clinton family. I ain't even know that. I ain't even know that. That blew my mind when I found that out. I said, man, you mean to tell me the Clinton family had something to do with a murder in the book of Kings in the Bible? In the Bible. Hold on.
Order of Druids, AOD, is a fraternal organization founded in London, England in 1781 that still operates to this day. It is the earliest known English group to be founded based on the iconography of the ancient Druids, who were priest-like figures in Iron Age Celtic paganism. 22. United Order of the Golden Cross. In 1876, Dr. J.H. Morgan organized the United Order of the Golden Cross to provide a means through which members can have a safe and economical method of getting life insurance policies. Though it originated in England, the strength of this secret society lies in its New York chapter. Its members today are men and women from Indiana, Columbia, Tennessee, and Kentucky who pledged to abstain from taking alcoholic drinks. The Golden Cross is among the very few secret societies that treat men and women equally. 21. The Mystic Order of Veiled Prophets of the Enchanted Realm. A Freemason organization more commonly known as MOVPR or the Grotto, was originally created to add in greater measure to the Masonic fraternal spirit the charm of radiant cheerfulness and to maintain within the fraternity an impetus of royal good fellowship. One of their most notable accomplishments is their resolution to establish a 501c3 national charitable program named the Humanitarian Foundation, whose first project was aid for the cerebral palsy child. Since its inception, over $1 million has been contributed to research for cerebral palsy.
20.
Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Also known as the Golden Dawn, this was a magical order active in Great Britain during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, which practiced theurgy and spiritual development. It has been one of the largest single influences on 20th century Western occultism. 19.
Foresters Society.
Foresters Friendly Society is a British friendly society which was formed in 1834 as the Ancient Order of Foresters. Although not as secret or mysterious as some of the others on this list, its nearly 70,000 strong membership deserves some mention. As far as purpose is concerned, as with most friendly societies, it primarily seeks to provide insurance policies to its members. 18. Illuminati. Illuminati typically refers to various organizations claiming to have unsubstantiated links to the original and very real Bavarian Illuminati or similar secret societies. It is said that the Illuminati is one of the secret organizations that rule the world by masterminding events and planting agents in government and corporations to establish a new world order and gain further political power and influence. Central to some of the most widely known and elaborate conspiracy theories, the secret society Illuminati have been depicted as lurking in the shadows and pulling the strings and levers of power in dozens of novels, movies, television shows, comics, video games, and music videos.
So this is what I learned. The Illuminati runs movies, TV shows, video games, and music videos. Right? That's what the Illuminati run. You got another organization, they run the real estate game. It's a group that run the real estate game. Then you got a Illuminati group, not Illuminati, but another secret society, they base on controlling child education. They all look, number 17. You could identify all they symbols, the sword, the axe, the ankle. The ankle's like, yeah, we coming over the boat. The axe is to behead people. The swords is what they going to war with, right? They bringing the symbols over here with the shield. You got the shield right here. Then you got the star. Look, you got the star right here, but all of this gonna make up for the star legs. Boom. All of these symbols, just say like, everybody know, damn, let me see how I can explain it. They took a symbol like the pyramid, right? Just say like, okay, you can see the pyramid, right? That's why the Illuminati got 1775 on their dollar bill with the pyramid, but they got the all-seeing eye because they talking about they're going to control the surveillance. They're going to be watching. This is going to be the new world order because they control the video game. This is what everybody love. Everybody going to need their movies, their TV shows, their comics, their video game, and their music. You can't live a day without it. You want your TV shows, your Atlanta Hip Hop Wise. You got these people want their Marvels and their comics. You know what I'm saying? They Spider-Man, they Batman. Then you got everybody want their Grand Theft Audio, Call of Duty. Then you got all these Santana music videos going on with everybody sitting on the movie director couch and movies, right? That's what the Illuminati control. That's what they got power over, right? Look at this group. Look what they got control over.
Videos. 17. Knights of Columbus. The Knights of Columbus is the largest network of Catholic men and their families throughout the world. Founded in 1882, most of the rituals of this organization are modeled after those of the Masonic Lodge. Today it has over 11,000 councils all over the globe and boasts of the insurance policies that it provides for its members.
They run the insurance policies. You see what I'm saying? They run the insurance policy while the Illuminati run the music game, the TV, the entertainment game, right? Let's see what else the other secret society running, bro.
16. Knights of Pythias. The Knights of Pythias was the first fraternal organization to receive a charter under an act of the United States Congress. It was founded by Justice H. Rathbone, who was inspired by a play by the Irish poet John Bannum about the legend of Damon and Pythias. A member must be at least 18 years of age. He cannot be a professional gambler or involved with illegal drugs or alcohol, and he must believe in a supreme being. 15.
Ku Klux Klan.
The Ku Klux Klan, KKK, informally known as the Klan, is the name of 3 distinct past and present far-right organizations in the United States, which have advocated extremist reactionary currents such as white supremacy, white nationalism, and anti-immigration, historically expressed through terrorism. It is classified as a hate group by the Anti-Defamation League and the Southern Poverty Law Center.
That's another secret society that spread hate. You see what I'm saying? Spread hate. These is all. If you look at the time frame when all of these people started their own organization, it's all master masons and people with high ranking in Mason. They started to branch off in the 1700 and the 1800. Like, yeah, let's start our own group, because we own the Illuminati. They finna take control of the TV. We gonna take control of the insurance policy. The other secret side, they got control of the real estate. This secret side got control of the of the education and the healthcare. You know what I'm saying? These secret societies over here control the banking system. So now look how everything finna adds up now. Hold on. The Bilderberg Group. Look.
Center. 14. Bilderberg Group. Also known as the Bilderberg Club, the Bilderberg Group is a secret society composed of some of the most influential men in the world, including prime ministers, presidents, and international bankers.
So they influence men all over the world. Ministers, president. So that means, look, they control the bankers, the presidents, and the ministers. Whoa! That's who got control of the president, the bankers, and the ministers. All right, let that be known.
Bankers. It is believed that the major purpose of this private club is to create an aristocracy of purpose between the United States and Europe. This organization is so private that only its steering committee decides who should be enlisted as its members. 13. The Loyal Order of Moose. Founded in 1888 by the Scottish Dr. Wilson, the Loyal Order of Moose dedicates itself to providing health benefits to its members. The organization went through hard times in the 20th century after it lost most of its members until a man named James Davis took the reins and helped Moose recover from its membership slump. He convinced and recruited thousands of new members and established a thriving network of Moose lodges throughout the United States.
12.
Freemasonry. One of the most popular secret societies today, with one of the most recognizable secret society symbols. Freemasonry is a fraternal society that was established between the 16th and 17th century and has over 6 million members. It remains actively engaged in the conduct of charitable works in the...
Man, you mean to tell me 6 million people is in this organization? So that means it's a Mason. It's damn near Mason in every fucking neighborhood. 6 million? Worldwide. That's a lot of Masons, bro.
The secluded communities of Scotland and England. Its members uphold the constitution drafted by Scottish Minister James Anderson, where the establishment of fraternal friendship is central. 11. PO Sisterhood. A women's organization with about 250,000 members in the United States and Canada, PO Sisterhood was organized on January 21st, 1869 to provide opportunities for education to all its female members around the world. The society has organized chapters in the United States and Canada and is known for being the second sorority to have ever been formed in the United States. Currently headquartered in Iowa, Canada, PO sisterhood maintains its traditions of secrecy even after its "It's okay to talk about PO" campaign in the 20th century.
10.
The Improved Order of Red Men. The Improved Order of Red Men was organized on December 16, 1773 by some members of the Sons of Liberty to promote liberty as well as to challenge the tyranny of the monarchy of England. Throughout the course of the Revolutionary War, members of the Red Men joined the Continental Army to push for the downfall of the English crown. The rituals of its members are patterned on the rituals practiced by the Native Americans.
And keep this in mind, when they talk about some of these wars, some of those wars is actually secret society fighting other secret society. And bombing the states and whatever they bombing they city and they states. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's what you gonna have to do, man. Look, since you control this city right here, we gonna bomb the city then. We finna knock down everything. Alright. We go to Shriners.
9.
The Ancient Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine. Commonly known as Shriners and abbreviated AONMS, they were established in 1870 and are an appendant body to Freemasonry. In 2010, the Ancient Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, as well as Shriners North America, changed its name to Shriners International, now covering nearly 200 temples, chapters, across North America, South America, Europe, and Southeast Asia. This secret society organization is best known for the Shriners hospitals for children it administers and the red fezzes that members wear.
So don't that make sense that the Shriners own all the church and hospitals? All the church and hospitals, trauma centers, councils, you know what I'm saying, kids, they own it. Now you see how they need to control benefits, hospitals. Man, these folk got a real plan to come as a new world government, bro. You see what I'm saying?
Where? 8.
Woodman. Established in 1883 by Joseph Cullen Root, Woodman is among the largest fraternal benefit societies today, with about 845,000 members worldwide. Members of this organization are called neighbors and conduct fraternal projects for various communities. Its services include the donation of equipment to police and fire and rescue units, as well as the provision of assistance to senior citizens, orphans, and disaster victims.
So now you know who will have control of the senior citizens, the orphans, disaster victims. You know what I'm talking about? To the police and the fire rescues? Come on, bruh. That's who control that side of the world. Yeah, we're gonna control, you know what I'm saying, the fire and rescue squad when it come to the older people and the orphans and people that was disasters victims. You know what I'm saying? Watch this.
Victims. Known today as the Modern Woodmen of America, the society uses an axe, beetle, and wedge as its primary symbols. 7. Knights of the Golden Eagle. The Knights of the Golden Eagle is a fraternal benefit secret society founded in Baltimore, Maryland, in 1873. At the peak of membership in 1900, this organization was active in 20 states with approximately 20,000 members. It began to decline about 1943 to 1944 during World War II. Some historians believed that this fraternal organization had become extinct. 6. Ordo Templi Orientis. The Ordo Templi Orientis, or the Order of the Temple of the East, was founded at the beginning of the 20th century as an international fraternal and religious organization dedicated to the law of Thelma as its guiding principle. Membership in this organization is similar to Freemasonry, where an initiatory system followed by a series of secret ritual dramas is among the prerequisites. The purpose of the system it adopts is to strengthen fraternal ties as well as to introduce its spiritual teachings.
5.
The Priory of Shaun. The Priory of Shaun is an umbrella secret society composed of multiple.
And check this out, y'all see that sign? Don't that look like the New Orleans Saints symbol? New Orleans Saints, right? That's the same symbol they got. Keep that in mind. And this shit crazy.
Multiple smaller groups that all aim to allow and convince their members to involve themselves in studies and mutual aid. Considered the most controversial secret society to have ever existed in the Christian world, the Priory of Shaun is said to have been founded as early as 1099 by a man named Godfrey of Bouillon on Mount Zion. 4. Thule Society. Initially named the Study Group for Germanic Antiquity, the Thule Society is a secret organization formed in Munich, Germany, principally created to return power to Germany after its defeat in the First World War and the fall of the Treaty of Versailles. Its name was derived from a fictitious northern country from Greek mythology, Thule. Since 1917, people who seek to become members of this secret society have been obliged to undergo a blood declaration of faith before being admitted.
3.
The Sons of Liberty. The Sons of Liberty was a group consisting of American patriots that originated in the pre-independence North American British colonies. The group was formed to protect the rights of the colonists and to take to the streets against the taxes by the British government. They are best known for undertaking the Boston Tea Party in 1773, which led to the Intolerable Acts, an intense crackdown by the British government, and a counter-mobilization by the Patriots.
2.
Rosicrucians. Devoted to the pursuit of esoteric wisdom, the Rosicrucians is a secret organization founded between the 16th and 17th century to spread occult doctrines and occult powers. By the dawn of the 17th century, 2 books were published to allude to the rituals of Rosicrucians, which generally bring together elements of Egyptian Hermeticism, Gnosticism, as well as Jewish Kabbalism. It is believed that Isaac Newton was a member of this secret organization.
1.
Skull and Bones. Informally known as Bones, Skull and Bones is a secret society that evolved from a group of senior students from Yale University. The senior class of Yale founded the organization in 1832 to show its resistance to the debating societies of the university, Linonia, Brothers in Unity, and the Calliopean Society. Much like the secret society Illuminati, this secret organization is sometimes theorized to play a critical role in global conspiracies that aim to dominate the world.
Now, with that being said, now you see why George Bush and them, because you go back to these same people, right? The most elite secret society in history. Nobody don't know nothing about this shit right here. Let's go. Let's read this out loud.
Ordo Templi Orientis is a mystic organization that was started in the early 20th century. The group was established along the same lines as the less secretive Freemasons and supposedly relies on ritual and occult practices as a means for members to move from one level of prestige to another within the organization. The general philosophy of the group was a belief in New Age esoteric principles and practices as a method of realizing one's true identity. Famed occultist and all-around eccentric Aleister Crowley composed much of the group's lore, including a manifesto called the Mysteria Mystica Maxima, and he later became its head. After his death, the influence and popularity of Ordo Templi Orientis began to wane, but it still exists today and has various chapters scattered across the world, chiefly in the United States, the UK, and other parts of Europe. As Aleister Crowley's popularity as a New Age figure has continued to grow, more and more of the teachings of the Ordo Templi Orientis have come to light. As such, the group makes much less of an attempt to be secretive today than it did in the past. This doesn't mean that they don't still have some bizarre practices. Chief among these is the group's fixation on the sexual, especially their teachings on the adoration of the phallus and the magic of masturbation. 9. Bilderberg Group. No famous members, but attendees have included Ben Bernanke, the royal families of Spain and the Netherlands, World Bank officials, and representatives from major corporations. The Bilderberg Group is not a secret society per se, but it does operate under a similar veil of mystery, which has made it the subject of countless conspiracy theories and criticisms. The group was started in 1954, and since then it has convened every year as an exclusive, invitation-only conference of various world leaders, captains of industry, and media moguls. The group was originally started as a means of addressing a streak of anti-Americanism that was spreading through Europe following World War II, but over the years it appears to have morphed into a more broad discussion on reaching mutual understanding between cultures. The Bilderberg Group has become controversial for one key reason. No press is allowed in the conference, and no significant details concerning the topics discussed are ever officially released to the public. That kind of secrecy, along with the intense security of the meeting sites, which often feature armed guards, police, and even fighter jets patrolling the skies overhead, has produced a number of conspiracy theories centered on the conference. The most popular is that the group tries to steer the direction of public policy, financial markets, and media in certain prescribed directions of their choosing, perhaps even with the goal of forming a so-called one world government. These claims have been brushed aside by the group, which claims global understanding and the end of nuclear proliferation as its main goals. 8. The Knights Templar. The Knights Templar, full name, the United Religious, Military and Masonic Orders of the Temple and of St. John of Jerusalem, Palestine, Rhodes, and Malta, is a modern offshoot of Masonry and does not have a direct tie to the original Knights Templar, a religious military group formed in the 12th century. Members of the Masonic Knights direct connection to the medieval group, but merely a borrowing of ideas and symbols. In order to become a member of this group, you must already be a Christian Master Mason. This organization is a distinct one.
So it makes me think now that it's a lot of pastors that's Freemasonry, that's 33 Mason, and they pastor. No wonder why they church be packed, bro, because they Christian Master Masons. When you check out the Knights Templar, that's where I trace back Bill Clinton to, and the Knight Templars had something to do in the Book of Kings in the Bible with another Freemason death. So look, when you go to the temple of St. John of Jerusalem, do you know who St. John of Jerusalem actually is? Is the apostle of Jesus Christ. Look, this is St. John. When I looked up at St. John, I said, what do St. John, apostle of Jesus, allegedly supposed to walk with Jesus and documenting his life, and he's a part of the Knights Templar? And you could trace St. John back to Chicago. That would fuck me up, because I said, what do St. John and Knights Templar got to do with Chicago? Think about the Simpsons. You see how they predicting everything? Every group that I'm showing you right now is associated with the Clintons. Once you find out about the Clintons and the organizations, you'll be like, damn, this is all the same people. They in the same group, but they branch off, and you have people making their own group, just in like the real estate gang was like, look, man, we're going to start our own group. We're going to call it the Building Bird. Right? But if I want y'all to look at the Black Hand Society, it's a secret society, right? Y'all know who the Slavic people is? It's the white people of Europe up under one country. They required the separation of the Siberia with the Manchuria. Look, I ain't finna get that. I'ma just let this read this a little more.
1, and is not just a higher degree of Masonry. Despite Freemasonry's general disclaimer that no one Masonic organization claims a direct heritage to the medieval Knights Templar, certain degrees and orders are obviously patterned after the medieval order. These are best described as commemorative orders or degrees. Nevertheless, in spite of the fraternity's official disclaimers, some Masons, non-Masons, and even
In charge. They finna show you who got, all of that. This where Bill Clinton was getting the drugs from. Nicaragua. Nicaragua, gang. Look, somebody leaked a phone call where Bill Clinton was in the White House talking to a drug kingpin in Nicaragua delivering drugs. This shit goes so deep, I was like, damn, no wonder, because in the 90s, the drug game was popping. Look, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, when they first started putting powder and heroin in the black community, look who was in office. Look who was in office. And you want to know how this shit get over here on the military? Like when you had Frank Lucas, like, yeah, I would get my dope from the military. Military was smuggling dope through dead bodies on the airplane. So I'm like, damn, let me go who the president did at that time, and you got the president making news press conference. Yeah, we trying to do hard wars on drugs, but they the one bringing it in here, flooding the community with it. Flooding the goddamn community with the dope, right? So now look, these are the people that control all the assassinations in the United States of America. When I did some research, this the same people that assassinate Martin Luther King, JFK, goddammit Charlie Kirk. The same people that assassinated Abraham Lincoln. They is a part of the assassination group. That's why you'll never get no arrest when it comes to assassinations. Watch this. Check this out.
At Brona, a group that sought to unite all of the Slavic people of Europe under one country. This required the separation of Serbia from the monarchy of Austria-Hungary, which had annexed the country some years before. With this in mind, the group began disseminating anti-Austrian propaganda and training saboteurs and assassins to disrupt political rule within the province. Their plan was to incite a war between Serbia and Austria, which would give them a chance to free their country and unite the different Slavic nations as one. Black Hand would be all but forgotten today if not for their unlikely involvement in one of the biggest events of the 20th century. In 1914, the group engineered the assassination of the Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The job was badly botched and was only completed when a low-level hood named Gavrilo Princip stumbled upon the Archduke's car and shot him to death at close range. See photo. Still, the results of the assassination were catastrophic. Within days, Austria-Hungary had declared war on Serbia, and after the allies of both countries joined the fray, the small dispute managed to escalate into World War I. The aftermath of World War I eventually led to World War II.
So that's why we got World War I and World War II. All because of assassination. Man, we went to war, World War I, World War II, all because of assassination? That ain't what they taught us in school. Now, they told us, yeah, you need to fight for your country and to have all these black people in the United States fighting their wars. Yeah, we'll pay you, you know what I'm saying? You fight these wars, you know what I'm saying? We'll pay you good money. And then when they fight the wars and win the victory and they come back home, they got drug problems, no benefits. They left on their own. They don't need them no more. They got a whole fresh young generation ready to get in the army. Hold on, look, watch this stuff.
World War II, and this led to the Cold War, which makes the Black Hand one of the most strangely influential forces of the 20th century. 5. The Hashishin. The Hashishin, or Nizari, were a mysterious band of Muslim assassins that operated in the Middle East during the 13th century. The group was made up of Shia Muslims who broke off from a bigger sect and banded together in order to establish a utopian Shiite state. Because their number was small, the group used guerrilla tactics in their battle against their enemies, including espionage, sabotage, and most famously, political assassination. The Hashishin would plant highly trained moles inside enemy strongholds, with instructions to only attack when the time was right. They were known for their extreme discretion in minimizing civilian casualties, as well as their penchant for using stealth to intimidate their targets. As the story goes, enemy leaders would often wake in the morning to find a Hashishin dagger lying on their pillow, along with a note saying, "You are in our grip." Their legend soon grew, and before the Mongols finally destroyed the group, they became well-known contract killers, supposedly performing jobs for the likes of King Richard the Lionheart. Around the time of their downfall, the library that contained all Nizari records was destroyed. So much of what is known about them today has taken on the status of myth. The most controversial legend centers of the group's use of drugs and other intoxicants. Hashishin translates roughly as hashish user, which some have said were employed by the members in battle. This has been widely discredited, but the term Hashishin, as it refers to the Nizari, is believed to be the origin of the modern word assassin. 4. The Knights of the Golden Circle. The Knights of the Golden Circle was a secret society that flourished in the U.S. during the American Civil War. In the beginning, the group sought to encourage the annexation of Mexico and the West Indies, which they believed would help the waning slave trade to once again flourish. But once the Civil War started, the group switched its focus from colonialism to fervent support of the newly established Confederate government. The Knights soon had thousands of followers, many of whom formed guerrilla armies and began raiding Union strongholds in the West. In the northern states, the mysterious order had an even bigger impact. Many newspapers and public figures engaged in witch hunts where they accused supposed Southern sympathizers, including President Franklin Pierce, of being members of the Knights of the Golden Circle. Unlike most secret societies, the Golden Circle didn't just concern itself with clandestine meetings and mysterious plans. Instead, the group often formed renegade armies and bands of bushwhackers in order to forward their agenda by force. In 1860, a group of the Knights made a failed attempt to invade Mexico. During the war, they robbed stagecoaches and attempted a blockade of the harbor in San Francisco, and a group of them even managed to briefly take control of southern New Mexico. 3. The Order of the Skull and Bones. The Order of Skull and Bones, a Yale University society, was originally known as the Brotherhood of Death. It is one of the oldest student secret societies in the United States. It was founded in 1832 and membership is open to an elite few. The society uses Masonic-inspired rituals to this day. Members meet every Thursday and Sunday of each week in a building they call the Tomb. According to Judy Schiff, chief archivist at the Yale University Library, the names of the members were not kept secret until the 1970s, but the rituals always have been. Both of the Bush presidents were members of the society while studying at Yale, and a number of other members have gone on to great fame and fortune. The society is surrounded by conspiracy theories, the most popular of which is probably the idea that the CIA was built on members from the group.
And George Bush daddy was the the director of the CIA at the time when JFK got assassinated. George Bush daddy was the CIA director at the time when JFK got assassinated. Whoa! J.F. Hoover was the director of the FBI. They all are part of the same group. So when J.F. Kennedy tried to expose the secret society, the ops, the one they don't get along with, they assassinated the man. Oh, you going against the order. And boom, once they assassinate you, they got a conspiracy theory. Look, boy, they the kings when it come to conspiracy theories. That's how they do their magic on the public. Hey man, do them rituals on the public. Make them folk think they ain't see what they see. Let's make this shit a conspiracy theory. Hold on.
Group.
The CIA released a statement in 2007, coinciding with the popularity of the film The Good Shepherd, in which it denied that the group was an incubator for the CIA. You can read that document here. 2. Freemasons. The Grand Masonic Lodge was created in 1717 when 4 small groups of lodges joined together. Membership levels were initially first and second degree, but in the 1750s this was expanded to create the third degree, which caused a split in the group. When a person reaches the third degree, they are called a Master Mason. Masons conduct their regular meetings in a ritualized style. This includes many references to architectural symbols, such as the compass and square. They refer to God as the great architect of the universe. The 3 degrees of Masonry are 1. Entered apprentice. This makes you a basic member of the group. 2. Fellow craft. This is an intermediate degree in which you are meant to develop further knowledge of Masonry. 3. Master Mason. This degree is necessary for participating in most Masonic activities. Some rites, such as the Scottish Rite, list up to 33 degrees of membership. Masons use signs and handshakes to gain admission to their meetings, as well as to identify themselves to other people who may be Masons. The signs and handshakes often differ from one jurisdiction to another and are often changed or updated. This protects the group from people finding out how to gain admission under false pretenses. Masons also wear stylized clothing based upon the clothing worn by stonemasons from the Middle Ages. The most well-known of these is the apron. In order to become a Mason, You must generally be recommended by a current Mason. In some cases, you must be recommended 3 times before you can join. You have to be at least 18 years old and of sound mind. Many religions frown upon membership of the Masons, and the Roman Catholic Church forbids Catholics to join under pain of excommunication. 1. The Illuminati, a movement of freethinkers that were the most radical offshoot of the Enlightenment, whose followers were given the name Illuminati, but who called themselves Perfectibilists, was founded on May 1, 1776 in Ingolstadt, Upper Bavaria, by Jesuit-taught Adam Weishaupt. This group is now known as the Bavarian Illuminati. While it was not legally allowed to operate, many influential intellectuals and progressive politicians counted themselves as members. Even though there were some known Freemasons in the membership, it was not considered to be endorsed by Masonry. The fact that the Illuminati did not require a belief in a supreme being made them particularly popular amongst atheists. This, and the fact that most members were humanists, is the reason for the widespread belief that the Illuminati wants to overthrow organized religion.
Illuminati want to overthrow and reorganize religion. Ain't this what's going on in Hollywood? That's what they got control over. Check this out.
Religion. Internal panic over the succession of a new leader and government attempts to outlaw the group saw to it collapsing entirely in the late 1700s. Despite this, conspiracy theorists such as David Icke and Wes Penra have argued that the Bavarian Illuminati survived, possibly to this day, though very little reliable evidence can be found to support the idea that Weishaupt's group survived into the 19th century. It has even been suggested that the Skull and Bones Club is an American branch of the Illuminati. Many people believe that the Illuminati is still operating and managing the main actions of the governments of the world. It is believed that they wish to create a one-world government based on humanist and atheist principles.
So won't that make sense that when you got these presidents and these secret society and they can go to the Hollywood actors and be like, yeah, come on over here and support me, man, so the people can vote for me. And then you got all these actors supporting these people, making it look like these people really cool and good people, but they really ain't. You see what I'm saying? These people running a cold fucking game on us, bruh. They running a cold game on us. So when I started looking up this stuff, I said, okay, this make a lot of sense. I read this stuff. When it come back to Aleister Crowley, Aleister Crowley is big in the music game. He influenced a lot of rock and roll and actors and all this old stuff. All right, everybody know who he is. So y'all can go look this stuff up. Just go look it up. They do reenactments of some shit they was doing in Egypt. So when I started looking in this stuff, I'm like, man, let me show the world. Let me see, where is that? Right here. Let me show the world this. Here go a list of Satanism. Types of Satanism. Here go the Church of Satan, Temple of Set, Order of the Nine Angels, the First Satanic Church, Joy of Satan. Then you got the Satan Temple, the local national. Hold on, where I need to go to? Go down here. Church of Satan. Where I read it at? Hold on, Temple Set. It's got to be up in this. So I read all of this. I'm like, look at all of these groups that came from Freemason. All these people was Masons. They still Mason, but they decided, hey, we're gonna build our own group Cause they freely willing to do it. You know what I'm saying? You can't hate them. If they got the money and the power to establish their own shit, you could do that. So I'm trying to find Satan Temple. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's gonna be in here. Here we go, y'all. My bad, I was on the wrong one. Watch this, y'all. 34 satanic sites of the world. Satanic sites of the world. Man, this shit go back to Baltimore Hotel in Miami, Buckingham Palace, Bohemian Grove, Comic Pizza in Hollywood, Denver Airport, Epstein Island Dome, Georgia Guidestone, Hoover Dam. The list goes on and on. London Banks, the London Bridge, the Northern Castle, the Opera House of Sydney, the Pentagon, Playboy and Bunny Mansion House, the Statue of Liberty, Tesla Building, the Getty Museum, the Queen Hunting Lodge, the Vatican, the 3 Georgia Dam, the U.S. Capitol, Victoria's Secret Home, Washington Monument, the White House 1, and the White House 2. Think Tyler Perry and Joe Biden pretending. I looked that up. Right here. This is Tyler Perry studio, White House in Atlanta, Georgia, and they said Joe Biden was sitting up in here doing a fucking press conference and had everybody thinking he was at the White House. See what I'm saying? Where I was at, right here. White House. Winston Towers. They're just a small little portion. We're going to list of people in the Bohemian Grove. Look at this. You finna notice, Tregang, you show bust they ass up tonight with this one. Cause the same people that you were exposing, we know they all cool with each other. They going against other secret society. But this particular group gonna run the world through doing what? TV shows, movies, politicians. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at all these people. Check this out. Start from Robert up here. He was a famous worker. And he worked in the Supreme building. All right. He's a U.S. politician and president, including Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, administrator. Anderson was credited for helping to end the military. Keep this in mind, these military going against other secret society military. So once you look at these people like, damn, you ain't lying, they in the music, in the theater, they play instruments, you know what I'm saying? They gonna be bankers, and they also gonna be war veterans. They gonna be in the wars and all of this shit, right? So I'm like, half of these people right here are dead, but you go to the ones that's living, like right here. Damn, I had looked this name up earlier, but George Bush, right? He's an American artist, a poet, and a humanist. A very important figure in San Francisco Bay Area. Norton Bush, American landscape painter. He was a painter. Here go Italian born America oil painter who lived in San Francisco and a member of the Bohemian Club. Another painter, right? Warren Christopher, American salesman, attorney, a Navy officer who served in the 63rd United States Secretary of State. And that's when Bill Clinton was in office, right? Harry, he's an actor, and he played baseball. He go a president of a World Bank. He was president and CEO of the Bank of America. Bank, I'm telling y'all, these people own hospitals, bank, the jury system, and all this stuff. That's how they gonna run their side of the world. Cause you're gonna need actors. That's where you finna get your propaganda from. You're gonna need actors so you can fuck with the people head and got these people actually living their life like a movie, like, you know what I'm saying? So let me go to this. Here go a female. She's a singer. Here go Joseph. He's a goddamn Coors Brewer Company. The beer company. So y'all see everybody got something in common. They either businessman, actors, or politicians, or lawyers, screenwriters, bankers, all of this shit. This man was the biggest landlord in the United States history. He was the biggest landlord. Ford magazine said, yeah, man, you know, he was a CEO, you know what I'm saying, a Kroll's company where he was founded by his father. And his father was described as the biggest landlord in the United States. All right. Go look him up. So I had looked up all these people one by one and stuff. And once I looked at these people one by one and stuff, man, this finna make, just imagine 50 years, almost 100 years from now, man, our generation, fuck. It's over with. It's over with, bro. These folks done came in the office. Man, these folks done wrote all the bills. Cause once I found out, I'm like, well, I was like, wait a minute. So the Constitution of Rights was really about Freemasons. It was really about, hey man, we gonna come together, come to this Constitution. Since it had to apply to them, it had to apply to us. And it ended up protecting us too at the same time. Look what the world will be like without constitutional rights. All right. I looked him up. I looked him up. I looked up all these people names. Right? All these people is Irish. Did you notice that? All these people is Irish. Irish. Once again, Irish, bruh. Don't they look like Prince Charles, Queen Elizabeth race? Cause I was like, why United States always keeping up with Queen Elizabeth and praying her and bowing down to her on your own land? There's a whole lot of these motherfuckers on there. So y'all see how long the list is? That's all you finna get. Army men's, bankers, all of this. They got they new world order is control the public. Once they control the public, right? Cause they finna tell you what to eat, what to buy, what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Like what we doing now, right now. If these people call in a martial law right now and they be like, yeah, we got a curfew, you better be in their house at 8 o'clock. I bet your ass will be in their house. I bet your ass gonna be in there, mother, man, bitch. I ain't going out there, got me fucked up, you know what I'm saying? All right. The list still goes on and on. Where I need to go to? Oh yeah, I already been there. So once you go back to all of this shit like Krusty the Clown, look at all the people Irish. This is one group that's controlling. Irish Mafia and the Jews. And the Jews. So this makes sense. George Bush and Saddam Hussein. So that makes sense now. They control the media. I didn't even know this. The Bohemian Club was formed by Freemasonry of a group of men that own the news station. This crazy. Look at this shit, bruh.
My fellow citizens, events in Iraq have now reached the final days of decision. For more than a decade, the United States and other nations have pursued patient and honorable efforts to disarm the Iraqi regime without war.
Then it makes me think, what part of the White House that he's shooting is from? Because I don't think this is the White House that he's sitting in there.
That regime pledged to reveal and destroy all its weapons of mass destruction as a condition for ending the Persian Gulf War in 1991. Since then, the world has engaged in 12 years of diplomacy. We have passed more than a dozen resolutions in the United Nations Security Council. We have sent hundreds of weapons inspectors to oversee the disarmament of Iraq. Our good faith has not been returned. The Iraqi regime has used diplomacy as a ploy to gain time and advantage. It has uniformly defied Security Council resolutions demanding full disarmament. Over the years, UN weapon inspectors have been threatened by Iraqi officials, electronically bugged,
So to make a long story short, when you go back to the presidents, you got George Bush. Look when he was in office. Look when Bill Clinton. Look when Bill Clinton was in office. Watch this. Where is it? 93 to 2001. Look when he was in office. From 2001 to 2009. Then look came after him. Barack Obama. Look, all of this is related back to the same group. Barack Obama is related to the George Bush, Marilyn Monroe, but watch this. Now you see why they wanted to assassinate Donald Trump? That's the wrong person that needs to be in there. It supposed to look, Joe Biden. You supposed to have not Trump. So if you look at who all they going to war with. You see Dick Cheney, all these people is Irish, bruh. Irish. These people done came over here, took land, and they came up with the presidents. They look. So all the this just to show you this how shit is rigged. All this shit rigged, bruh. Everybody know each other in the same group, but they acting if like they don't really know each other. They just running campaigns. No. They go to 5-star. Now look. That's why they will be in Saudi Arabia. Now look, keep this in mind. Have you noticed that, look, Saudi Arabia, you know George Bush wanna boom, we finna go over there and bomb y'all. You know George Bush had a problem with him. Bill Clinton had a problem with these same people. This all the desert storms in the Iraq. Look where this shit was at. On these people. Everybody know about the Afghan war, the desert storm. You know what I'm saying? Man, all those wars, when I was coming up, I'm like, damn, why they going to war? It's for the oil. Oh, yeah, it's for the oil, man, because them folks don't want to sell the oil. Now, it's way bigger than oil and drugs, because they still going to sell them their opioids and they oil. It's about control over the world. It's like everybody want a piece of the pie, but for only this to work, everybody got to come together and make a new world government. You can't make a new world government if all these secret societies don't come together properly. It's like the people in the real estate were like, look, man, we just gonna build our own secret society, and you just gonna need a big ass real estate company to get in this group. Yeah, cause we own all the goddamn school education and the benefits, so we gonna control all the hair curl. So once you look at the conspiracy theory, I want to go down to the conspiracy theory. Damn, Donald Trump list long as hell. Hold on. You know he gonna be a what? John said he would be a phenomenal Christian if he had a question of Trump. I thought he was a Catholic. I thought Donald Trump was a Catholic, bro. This a church where they can trace their roots back. I know that part. He said the Bible or Christian practice. He said Trump commented on the Bible and Christian practice that it led to Christianity. You know what I'm saying about the Christian president? Let me see. Hold on. Oh, they took it off her. Yeah, they must have had to take it off. Cause it's a list of yeah, they must have took that junk down. So what's this? Yeah, I already read that too. We go a list American mobsters of the Irish descent. Now look, James Whitey Bulger, remind y'all, another drug kingpin. A hitman, Jimmy Burks was a gangster in the crime family. Now these the people that JFK come from, right? Man, Eddie the Butcher, he was a mob enforcer. You got Tom Hurl, he was a mob enforcer. And he's the brother of Jack Leg Diamonds, Eddie Diamond. What? He was American professional wrestler. Louisville, Kentucky. The company is currently owned and operated by Moley Sports Entertainment in the United Kingdom. All right. Jack Diamond. What he is? He a gangster too, a bootlegger, a gambler. You know what I'm saying? And he survived a whole lot of attempts on his life. They go a Boston mobster, son of Master Arthur Doe. Right? New York Mazda M4D, M4 St. Louis Mazda founder. Rat was an organizer crime in the 1890 to 1904, 35 years from that labor slug, old timber, robbery, and murder. You got a Chicago labor racketeering associated with the North Side Gang. This before the GDs and the Vice Lords and the BDs. You got Marcus out there, you know what I'm saying? The Irish American gangster, one of the earliest Chicago labor racketeers in the early 20th century, putting it down. You know what I'm talking about? You got Mickey, you know, he a mobster in the West Indies. You know, you got Richie right here, Mobman, he in the Eastman gang. Damn, he's a Jew. I told y'all, Jewish American street gang dominate. That's why a lot of those people be screaming, I hate Jews. I hate those Jews. Oh, I got another mobster dealing with drug racketeering, Jimmy Flynn mobster in the Wind Hill gang. Cleveland mobster involving union racketeer named Danny. You know what I'm talking about? You got Kevin on the mouth. Henry Hill. Everybody should know about Henry Hill, who was assassinated. Ooh, wee. I seen movies about this shit. Shit. So y'all get the point, right? So if you got JFK got all the mob connections, all these motherfucking mob connections, and he was a part of the mobster his damn self. That's why he was into it with them motherfuckers, bruh. Here go Charles. Shit. On the north side in Chicago. This is what the gangsters looked like back then. You see what I'm saying? Look how they dressed up, act like back then. Look what the shit they did. And look where they is now. Man, them folk own property. They running shit. You know what I'm saying? They done came off the block to building blocks. Cadillac Frank, goddamn it, and the General. Oh, he must. Oh yeah, he was a hit man. He gotta be Cadillac Frank, goddamn it. Boston mob boss, you know, is in the in Boston Province. Mm-hmm. So this another thing that I learned too, y'all. So what George and them Bush got going on, they keep look. It's like the Irish mafia still in the White House. So you got the Irish mafia in the White House, and they're gonna put them in totally power over the other secret society. So you know they're gonna bribe president, be like, look, I'll pay you this money if you pass this law and pass that law. You know what I'm saying? So Bill Clinton. All of them got one thing in common. I ain't say nothing, do you? I said Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton on the opposite side to Trump. Why they act like they don't know each other? But they all on the Epstein file together, everything. This man here look like a sweet old man, but this man here will put a bag on your head if your ass is try to expose they shit. Now you see this? Look at this. George Bush, they cool with each other. This the crazy part about it.
Let me get you a cold one. Try one
Bill
of these. That
Clinton
is the
and
best
George
buffalo wing in
Bush.
the county. You eat buffalo? No, it's just chicken.
Both running for president, so you basically still got two crooks in office, and the public is forced to choose which one you want. That means which crooked motherfucker you want in office. Give me Bill Clinton since he know how to play the saxophone. At least he did went on the Arsenio show. I'm gonna go with Bill. Bill getting on that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I smoked the joint. but I didn't inhale it. But he ain't gonna tell you how many lines he done snorted. how many pills he done popped, you know what I'm talking about? Cause you know they fuck with that boy out there. Y'all know they fuck around with those drugs. Look.
Talk to this audience, and they have lots of questions on other topics. Can we move to another topic, please? We have one up here, I think.
This shit
I'd like to
crazy.
address all the candidates with this question. The amount of time the candidates have spent in this campaign trashing their opponent's character and their programs is depressingly large. Why can't your discussions and proposals reflect the genuine complexity and the difficulty of the issues to try to build a consensus around the best aspects of all proposals?
Who wants to take that one?
That's the cold part about it. You got people that's in Freemason and secret society telling the world what they're gonna do for us. Man, y'all know we lost if we got these people and say, hey, we're gonna give you free health care, we're gonna give you free education. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give you Social Security benefits. These people come with the same shit every president election. What you going to do for the black people? We're going to build schools and we're going to have the best education system in the world. And you know what I'm talking about. Man, I know Clinton be howling that kite if he got... Look, watch this. Exposing Clinton trafficking cocaine with the CIA. George Bush daddy is the director of the CIA, bruh. And they was shipping drugs when he was the director of the CIA. Come on, man. That's why Hollywood will give you their movies, be like, look, don't tell them folks that we got the drug. Tell them the Mexicans got it. That's where you get El Chapo and them from. Yeah, they the one that bringing all the drugs in. And this thing, you know, everybody like, yeah, man, the Mexican is the plug. No, these people the real plug. They got the good shit. And Hollywood gets it first. The rich people get their drug first, bro. Look. A cover-up Bill Clinton cocaine operation exposed. Bill Clinton launching cocaine money and was a cokehead. I told y'all. Look. If you the president, if you launching an anti drug program and you the biggest drug dealer, and then look who with him. Ted. Y'all see who with him? That's the senator, Ted. So run a drug program like Ronald Reagan them did.
Whatever we can.
Yeah, let's fight the drugs. Because the drugs are just flooding our communities. And we need to get those drugs out the street. And really, they put the drugs out the street to get everybody addicted. And then they can play cops and robbers and be like, look at these thugs selling this crap. Man, if you the police and if you smoke weed, you better not lock me up for no blunt. You know what I'm saying? You better not lock me up if you get higher than I do. You know what I'm saying? So, if you go to Bill Clinton, look what they got a history of doing. George Bush selling the war. They assassinated and got JFK out of there. Martin Luther King out of there. Anybody that had look at all those assassinations that were going. Look, a list assassination in the United States. Look. If you look at all the presidents that got assassinated, all of them was in the secret society and they were fucking around doing some shit they ain't got no business doing, or they were finna do some, or they did some that didn't go their way and they got to get them out of there. Look at all these presidents that got whacked. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, gang, I'm gonna get on about this junk, y'all. I'm gonna get on about this junk. I got little things to do, but I'm gonna go back live tomorrow. I got some little shit that I'm putting together on some videos, you know, and I'm gonna release them junks soon when I touch up a little couple of them junks. But y'all be on the lookout because I'm thinking about, man, going to change this motherfucker to a whole news, goddamn it, a 25-hour news station, goddamn it. Real live updates, real hot tea topics, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, straight like that, because it's a lot of people getting murdered, bro. I'm starting to notice that it's a lot of murder-suicide going on right now. It's a lot of men out there killing their wives, their girlfriend, and a lot of women killing their husband. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, look, they took out Malcolm X too. Check this out. You want to know? Check this out. You want to know why the real reason I think they took Malcolm X out? Because he started exposing the Nation of Islam. Now, let me show y'all this, what I learned about the Nation of Islam. Hold on. Watch this, y'all. Hold on. Where I'm at. I'm finna find that junk right now. Hold on. Let me go to right here. If you go to the Nation of Islam, that's the dude right there. This is not even a black man, bro. So they had African American thinking like, yeah, you know, Muslim, that's y'all race, right? That's y'all race. It's a black thing. If you go look up him, what I did, I looked up at him. Did you know that these people, look, his followers perform a human sacrifice. This who they sacrifice. The murder of James Smith. They killed James Smith in the Allah Temple of Islam, right? He was a member. The cold part about it, he was willing to die in the name of God for this religion. He showed up. Look, that's why they call the Voodoo Nation. Instead of locking the people up that killed them, they told them, just get out of town. So once you look at him, man, this story is so crazy, bro. Because the man killed that man with an axe rod, a car rod, a tie jack, or some shit in front of his kids. Look, in front of his kids, right? This the house that he was murdered in. That's why, look, that's why they had to break that Nation of Islam shit up. Like, wait a minute, no, look, get Elijah out of here, kill Malcolm, and put Louis Farrakhan in office. Cause when, look, this is what Malcolm found out about. Malcolm found out that, hey, I went to Iran. He said he went to Mecca. That's not Africa. That's Ivory. Everybody know what Mecca is, right? That's over there where the Arabs be at. They showed you this in the Malcolm X movie. Once he went over there, he found out the truth. Once he found out the truth, like, wait a minute, America is so full of shit, because soon he came back to America and ready to preach that shit to us. Oh, you got to get him out of there. You got to get him out of there, bro. So these people were actually sacrificing and killing their members. This is what they were doing. All right. What Malcolm X? Let's go to Malcolm X. Now look, do y'all remember that word I showed y'all in the kitchen of Kanika Jenkins? In the kitchen. Matter of fact, let me see, can I pull it up right quick? So I won't get off track. Hold on. Let me see, where is it? Hold on, y'all. Once I show y'all this, the decoration. One goddamn second. Cause this shit mean a whole lot to me of that goddamn decoration they had. You know what? Matter of fact, man, I want to talk about some Kanika. I'm about to end this live, goddamn it, and start a Kanika Jenkins live. Cause I be having myself prepared to be spilling this tea, but once I go live and stuff, man, you know what I'm saying? My shit just be all over the place. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I find it. Still trying to find that decoration, cause that's gonna matter the most. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Switch my stream up right quick. Got to show y'all this. That's the only way that it gonna hit it right here. Thank you, Jesus. Y'all remember when I told everybody, I said, look, y'all, go look up this name. Because I said, this name got African origins in it. I Googled the name. It's going to tell you what this name means. And you can also use this as a baby name. It's a popular name when it comes to a baby's name, right? So once I look this word up right here, it might don't mean much to y'all, but it mean a whole lot to me because I traced this word back to her. Hold on, where is it? Hold on. Right here. I traced that word back to this word. And I said, wait a minute, y'all. This who Malcolm X found out who we really was. This where we came from. Right here. We are Nigerian, bruh. We mix with a whole lot of groups, like we mix with these people from the Congos. You know what I'm saying? Look, boom, right? So this where you get roots from. Once you go to roots, it's right here. Keep this in mind. All of this used to be the Roman Empire. Even though this Africa, but you had the Italians, the Germans, the Vikings, they still was in this area. It wasn't just all Africans. You know what I'm talking about? So I was like, damn, that's where they get Toby from. You know what I'm saying? The movie Roots. This where they enslaved the people from here. Let me show you what they look like if they do have image of these people. But if you go and look at these people, look, they look just like us. These the same people. You can step out your door right now and go to any world, wherever you stay at. You're going to be looking at yourself. If you go to an African, if you see a Nigerian, bro, be like, wait a minute, that's us. You mean to tell me, man, that's why they call us Afro-American? They'd rather call us Afro-American, but don't want to call you by your land name. So if you look up at the people, like, hold on, matter of fact, I need to go here. Look what look, watch this. Here go all the ethnic groups right here that we'll be related to. Look at this shit, bro. Look at this shit. Don't they look like us? Man, next time you drop your kids off at school, I bet you, man, the whole school gonna look just like these people. You gonna look yourself in the mirror like, damn. So this our shit right here. Boom. Our shit. Another thing I learned. Look. Look, just like us, bruh. All right. Go to these people. Man, look at these people. So all they did was kidnap us from these small little villages. That's what they did. Kidnapped us in these small little villages, bruh, and mix us with different breeds of tribe. You know what I'm saying? They bred us through different breeds of tribe, had us in the United States, cause they'll show you this all day long, but they ain't finna show you it's buildings. Man, don't you know it's a whole city somewhere around here. They just isolated. They want you to think like, yeah, it wasn't no building. Look, Africa just a big ass jungle. And Africa been having buildings. Before Christopher Columbus talking about, yeah, I'm over here in America. I just found America. I said, man, look at us, bruh. Not only look at us, I'm finna show you this what got me. Hold on, let me show y'all something right quick. Let me see, can I find that tribe? If you look at these photos, that's us. That's us like a motherfucker. That's us, bruh. Hold up. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Damn. Boy, look at that motherfucker real. Yeah, don't play with him, Jack. He look like he's still jacking. Oh, he a stonemason and a carpenter. Makes sense to me. Hold on, where that tribe at? Damn, man, I can't find the damn tribe that I would look. Let me go back a little. Right here, hold on. Where that John at? Damn, I got to find that John. But I traced that John. I traced that word back to her, y'all. Once I traced that word back to her or the U-boat people, I think this is it. Look. Look, watch this, y'all. That's us like a motherfucker. Hold up. Where that picture at? Not this. I actually know somebody look just like her. Now y'all see, you see how the way they dress? Think about America, Indians. They dress the same fucking way that we dress. And this how the Indians were dressing in the United States when Christopher Columbus showed up at that motherfucker? That's the food they eat over there. Right, man, that shit do look good as hell. That's what the female wear. That's how the men supposed to wear. Damn, he look like. Damn, I can't. Damn, he look like somebody. Damn, he looks like somebody I know. I remember coming up. Who all had a grandmama, a big mama used to know how to make these quilts? I remember, goddamn it, when I used to go to my grandma's house and crash out of her house, you know, when you were kids and you get dropped off at grandma's house, I remember we slept up under these thick ass quilts that weigh a ton, bro. I used to sit there and watch them make that John. Sit in that rocking chair with that barn and that thread and crafting that motherfucker. It's in the blood. Look, all of this shit. Now look how we all scatter out around this motherfucker. Look, you got the Yoruba, look, the Igbo people, look. We the Igbo, all of these people, this 9 times out of 10, we one of these tribes, one of these tribes breeded with these tribes. Know what I'm talking about? I need to show y'all the Igbo people. Hold on. Where the Igbo people at? Let me see. When I ain't got the Igbo people. Yeah, they should have it right here. They go back to the Igbo too, though, don't it? I need the Igbo people. Hold up. But this still gonna go back to them, though, too. Let me see. But these the same people, too, I believe. Right here, yeah, right here. Now look at this. Tell me is this us, bruh? Look. That's how you know that's the shit that we were raised up off of, man. Man, come on, bruh. See that? That's us, bruh. Y'all, man, can't nobody tell me like, nah, cause I won't be surprised if you go to Africa and if you go to this land and be like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get my blood work done, and you'll never know, man. These people you might find a whole other side of your family. There'll be something to think about. Be like, damn, I've been raised up in America, you know what I'm saying, and over here, but I know my roots over here in this land, so I know I still got family over there. You know what I'm saying? And I won't even be surprised. Just think about this shit. When people come, just think about right now, you could go outside the door and go to a store or somewhere in public and see an African or Nigerian or something. You know what I'm saying? You never know. That could be your relative, bro. Because I remember when I worked in the hotel, man, we had an African. He was the chef in that joint. The man always told me, he said, man, you look just like my people. I said, where you from? He like, I'm from West Africa, from Senegal. And I'm like, from Senegal? Everybody know what Senegal is on the Africa. It's right there when I'm pointing at, showing y'all this shit right here. Look. Look at this shit. I can literally pull up YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to see the same shit. Yeah, gang, let me get on about this John. Cause man, this shit here, I be learning so much on this stuff. Cause I'm like if you go here, look, just look at the images right quick. She look like a girl I was just watching on YouTube. I'm gonna go to her and I'm out this motherfucker. Man, what's up with that shit? Boy, that shit look scary as hell. Shit. And let me check one more out, goddamn it. One more. Come on, man. Look. Yeah, I'm out, y'all. Y'all be cool and y'all be safe. And Tregang will be back.